Behind them, the sky rumbled and turned black. Another late storm rolling down from the blight.
Rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside.
No, DMCA.
Sorry.
We're gonna get taken down.
Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the finale of the prologue that is book 11 of The Wheel of Time.
The finale, that's the prologue.
Yes.
Yes.
We are not doing a full book recap next week. This is all we're going to talk about this book. And I think that might have been a mistake because this book slaps.
It's pretty great, right?
This is like top 5 Wheel of Time for me.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess we could have done like a full book recap, but I don't think I would have split it into more parts. I think that
No, I just want to talk about this book a lot because I think it's actually like pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. We really enjoyed it.
I would even argue the second half is significantly better than the first half.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, if I were to say there is a problem with New Spring, and I know why that it was released in 2 separate chunks. I understand the like realities behind how this book was produced. I don't think the first half of the book necessarily sets up the ending of the book very well.
No.
But I think that the second half of the book is a really awesome story that's told really well and has one of my favorite magic fights in the whole series.
Yeah. 1000%. Like in the beginning of this book, I was like, I'm not really sure where this is going. Obviously, Moraine and Lan get together and like he becomes her warder, but like I don't really know what else is going on.
Blue, thank you for gifting 5 memberships to 5 more Nargs.
5 Nargs.
Including our mod, Maturk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Blue.
Thank you. Everyone in chat says you look really good today. They like your
haircut. Thank you. Guys, sorry that we started the stream a little bit late. I had a last-minute commercial audition. And by last minute, I knew about it for a week. And when I woke up at 9:40, I turned to Clarus and said, I have an audition due in an hour. So we got that done. And now we're live talking about New Spring by Robert Jordan, the prologue to the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Good contribution, Clarus.
Sometimes my brain is just like, nope.
Sometimes people are like, in our comments, will comment on moments where they're like, see, Nerdy cut Clarus off at this moment. And then I'll go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh no, you don't know her as well as I do, and she had stopped.
And I'm about to...
I was trying to keep the conversation going because she shut down.
Yeah. Like, it happens very frequently, you just hide it.
I just know, I know, I talk with you so much.
There's a look in my eyes.
That I don't even need to be looking at you. I can like feel it like in the hairs on the back of my neck when your sentence isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, 1000%.
And then people are like, he's always cutting her off. And I'm like, I promise you.
No, you don't.
Sometimes I'm cutting you off. But that's more obvious because you give me a look.
I'll call you out, yeah. Sam, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Thank you.
Sam.
The book would have been better if Lan came on Moraine from behind.
I don't know. Lan was getting laid plenty in this book.
Yeah,
God
Lan was...
Damn, Lan is a fucking sexual animal.
Except, like, she's like, you're gonna be real ugly when you're older.
No, she's just trying to manipulate him.
Sure.
Daniel Henney is not gonna age poorly. I'm telling you right now.
No. Like, Daniel Henney is great, but I just love that in the book she's like, yes, you were cute. Now you're fine. You're probably gonna be real ugly.
Sonic Sean says, Clarus has a tell?
Yes.
Hate that line.
Yes, unfortunately.
So much. I kind of wish that it was set up in this book.
You can
that, like,
see the 404.
Lan, like, knew her tell from... Or no, I guess Nynaeve figures out her tell.
No, it's Nynaeve, so yeah.
Right. Nynaeve, master tracker over Lan Mandragora. God, that final episode is just... It's not good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm really excited. Before season 2 comes out, we're going to do a reaction series to season 1 of Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Where we go through all the episodes as... with the knowledge that we have now and talk about like we'll probably watch our videos from back then and like talk about what's changed for us in watching the show now that we've read so many of the books.
1000%.
And
it's gonna be something.
It's gonna be something because there's I have such fond memories of the show because I really think the first 7 episodes are pretty great.
Yeah, oh,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I actually really do enjoy them a lot.
1,000%. I looked forward to Wheel of Time every week because it was this like new fantasy thing that I was just enraptured by, you know?
One thing that I thought was going to be in this book that is not is Steppen. When we were watching the Wheel of Time, and if you get to episode, I think it's episode 5 or 6 of Wheel of Time. 5. It's episode 5.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode about a warder and his relationship with the Aes Sedai. And there were so many people who were like, oh yeah, this Steppen storyline is pulled from New Spring. Where he like kills himself because his Aes Sedai dies.
Yeah.
That
but he's still
did
alive.
not happen.
No, he just is fighting.
We just see him that one time in the in the bedroom or the like green chambers. But Steppen does not kill himself in this book, and I was waiting for it the entire novel because people kept saying in our video back then, like, "Oh yeah, no, the Steppen storyline is from the."
It's from New Spring, but he's just there.
Nope.
Like,
no, it isn't. I don't know why. Like hundreds of comments.
I know.
Over the course of the last year, I'm talking hundreds of comments that storyline is from New Spring, and it isn't. Spoilers for New Spring, which I hope you've read because you're here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go into deep details on the end of the book. Mm-hmm. That did not happen, and it was so confusing to me because the audience had set me up to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna eventually watch Steppen kill himself because of the Black Ajah storyline that we get into in the second half.
Nope.
No.
They're just mentioned. They just are there.
No, they just show up in a scene.
Fine, I guess it's cool.
It's so strange.
His Aes Sedai does die, but like we never go back to that, right? Like it's not like a thing. Which I was definitely expecting.
And, like, people were so adamant that it was. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a weird one. But this book is great.
I still like the Steppen storyline from Wheel of Time, by the way. I actually think that's one of the stronger, like, single episodes of that show.
I agree.
But that's a total other thing that we'll talk about when we get to it.
Yeah.
Methany,
thank you for the
super chat. Not sure if the schedule allows it, but my cat would love reactions to the episode and to your corresponding video back to back. Our videos are 3 hours long, so
Are they that long?
They're like, maybe they're 2 hours. I don't think we're going to react to like 2 hours of us talking.
It would be the same as book club.
Yeah, I don't think that's really possible, Methany. I think that I'll try and like watch the videos at like 1.5 speed to try and like bring in some examples of things that we said back then that have changed for us. But like watching it again to make content out of it, I think would be really hard because of the length.
I don't know if I want to watch myself, especially when like... I don't know. I feel like I am much better at what we do now than I was a year ago. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch myself, but we can like bring in like clips and stuff.
Our spoiler chats back then were like, they were long.
Really? I thought it was like, I don't know, like 40 minutes.
I think the first episode was, and then because I think in episode 3 we started being live with them, right? I think once they went live, they got like a little crazy.
Guys, I got a new waifu cup. Look, she's very cute.
Look at them titties.
She's very cute.
Yeah, like they're only an hour and a half, but they're all an hour and a half.
Okay.
Oh, episode 5 was only 52 minutes. Oh yeah, I love that episodes 1 through 3, 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
Episode 7, an hour and 28 minutes.
Oopsie.
But also, the first episode of Book Club was only an hour and 43 minutes. Should we try and get back down to that length?
Yeah.
Do you think the audience wants us to go shorter?
Blue, I had the cat girl one and it cracked. It like got fucked up in shipping and it cracked. But in case you didn't remember, we're partnered with Gamersubs and it's really fucking tasty.
Yeah.
That's just a plug. Don't worry about it.
But not paid for. Not a paid for plug. No. Why are people saying no? No. Oh, about longer, not shorter. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, we can't go much longer than 3 hours. I feel like we've kind of hit the limit on what we can handle.
Without like breaks, like proper breaks and stuff.
We would have to take a break in the middle.
Like even my Twitch streams, which are like less intense than book club, are not much longer.
But you take long breaks in those.
Sometimes,
you're also by yourself, right?
Yeah. It is a little different. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
5-hour book clubs. I don't know if we could.
We could with a break. If we had a guest. I think that if we had like guests and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because, like we're planning some D&D stuff that'll probably be 5-6 hours long. And that with like breaks and with other people to help carry the load of the like show of it, I think we could do it. But, yeah. Should we talk about New Spring?
Let's do it.
Is that all? Is there any housekeeping? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we missed last week because we were at Cadsuane. It was very fun. Check her Instagram for some very cool photos coming up soon.
Hell yeah.
You looked great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't look so great right now. My face is peeling off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hide it with makeup, but...
Do you want to tell that story quickly before we get into New Spring?
Oh my god.
So, Claris had a rather big audition 2 days ago. And she was like, you know what? I want to look really good for this audition because it's a project she was excited for. Yeah. And so she booked a facial that morning so that she would look like fresh and dewy. So that she would glow like the photo. We still haven't talked about okay, we'll talk about the photo in the thumbnail afterwards. But glow like she did in those thumbnail photos for this last 2 weeks. And then what happened, Clarus? Well,
I didn't know what I was walking into, and they did not let me know what I was walking into. They were like, yeah, this is on sale. And it helps with like acne and scarring. And I was like, great. That's perfect. I love it. Love to see it. And so they started wiping this stuff on my face that stunk like nail polish remover. She was like, yeah, it's just acetone. We're just like, making sure there's nothing on your face. And then they put this other thing on my face that also smelled terrible. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then after, it was only like 10, 15 minutes, I think, to do the 3 layers or whatever it is. She was like, okay, so here's the box that you need to follow all the instructions. Your face is going to look like this. Don't touch it with water for 24 hours. You're going to put this on it and do this with it. And in 3 days, your face is going to peel off like a snake. And I was like, oh, okay. So I looked in the mirror and my face was like bright orange. And I was like, oh my God. It's like, I'm supposed to film things today. I'm supposed to make the self-tape. And so I texted my agent and I was like, so here's what happened. This is what I look like. I'm still going to make this self-tape because I think I'm good for the role. And I did. But the self-tape started with, hi, I'm Marielle Edwards. I'm 5'4", and I look ridiculous because I fucked up. Well, I didn't say it quite like that. But I was like, yeah.
No, you literally did.
Because I fucked up?
Oh, no,
you
did say that you looked ridiculous. You did say that you looked ridiculous.
Yeah. I was like, I look ridiculous because I went and got the wrong facial because I got excited for this audition. So here's what I normally look like. And I did the whole audition with, like, Trump orange face. It was beautiful.
It was so funny.
It was very unfortunate.
You killed it, though. It was a good audition. If they don't book you, they're just insecure. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, we never talked about the photos that we used for this. Those are the only photos of us from our youth together. The photos for the thumbnails.
There's probably a few more somewhere lost to the void.
I don't think of just the two of us, though.
Just the two of us, probably not. No, because we didn't have like good camera phones. Like people had to bring actual cameras.
On my. Those photos are from my Razr flip phone.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Yeah. So the story behind the thumbnail photos is I'm 18 in those photos, and you're 15.
Yep. Were you 18 yet?
Yeah, I just turned 18 in April.
In April, yeah.
And so we were both members of the Young Canadians of the Calgary Stampede, and we do this show at the end of every year with the company called the Calgary Stampede Grandstand Show. It's this massive show, 25,000 people in the audience every night. It's really nuts. It has like a $45 million budget. It is this crazy show.
They put off $1 million of fireworks every evening.
Yeah, it's truly it's unlike anything you've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It is like Cirque du Soleil with motorcycles and like 100 children from Calgary that are trained all year to perform in the show.
Yeah.
For no money. I think we make $15 a show.
No, yeah, so at the end,
seniors do, but the apprentices and juniors make nothing.
You get a check for $150 for 10 shows. There are videos online that you can like watch the grandstand show. It's nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But we were both in the company for years, and the photos from the thumbnail are from my final grandstand show ever.
And my first senior grandstand show.
Yeah, and so I took photos that night with everybody because I was moving to New York like a month and a half later.
Yeah. And
I was saying goodbye to this company that I'd been a part of for 4 years. And so that's why Clarus is crying. It's not that like someone was bullying her. It's a very sad night. I had been crying earlier in the night.
Everybody cries at the final show. Even if you're coming back next year, it's just like, very emotional.
But we did not see each other. That was the last night that we saw each other for 10 years. And then we started dating 10 years later. Before anyone's like, you were 18 and she was 15. That's a little bit weird, dude. We weren't dating.
We were not dating.
We were just dancing in the same company.
There was there was nothing there.
Because at the point, you were a child to me.
Yes.
You were like a freshman.
Look at the picture. I was a child.
But yeah, so that was the last night we saw each other. We didn't see each other for 10 years, and then we re-met in Tampa to do Jersey Boys.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Okay.
We went for two very different things.
Yeah, it's fine.
But, yeah, just for people wanting to know about the thumbnails, we've been getting a lot of questions about them. Those are the two photos of us from that night, and...
yeah, I was crying, and David was like, picture! I was like, oh, God.
Spring.
Yes.
Chapter 15. Into Kenloom. This is where the story really begins. Like, the actual story of this book.
Yeah.
The first half of this book is like a prologue to the book.
And I didn't realize that they were written in two separate parts.
Yes.
But it makes total sense to me now because they felt like two separate parts.
Yes,
but I was like,
agree.
why? Why does it like... It's an interesting choice, but it's like, I don't really, like, get it. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
But the weird thing is that he wrote the first part second, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that the second half of the book was foreshadowed a little bit better by the first part, so that the like, what the story this book is telling didn't feel like it was like, and now we're off on a completely different adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I actually think the second part of the book is really, really strong, and it starts with this first section, where Lan's story goes from Lan is walking around to Lan is immediately interesting. Like, he gets on this bridge, and this boy is like, I'm here, I'm ready, let's do this. And Lan is like, first of all, what the fuck are you talking about? And second of all, you cut your hair? I'm sorry, you got a haircut? And I'm sitting here like, yeah, I did, okay? I was looking a little scruffy on the book club. And so I went to a barber and I was like, hey, make me look good. We were going to a fancy party on Friday night.
And you look great.
And I was like, look, I'm dressing up. I'm putting on a nice suit. Mm-hmm. I have like this bright red dinner jacket. Go check the photos. I look hot.
Guys, we look cute. I don't know what to tell you.
I was getting my flirt on a little bit. I wanted a haircut. And suddenly, I'm reading Newspring on the drive. We didn't fly. And Lan's sitting there judging me for cutting my hair. And I'm like, what the fuck, Lan?
My guy, why you gotta do this to me?
My guy. It was like 9 a.m. on a Thursday. Lan's fucking coming for me.
Rude.
He's not coming on me from behind like I want.
If I had a choice...
I wouldn't spin around.
You'd take it. Right to the face.
No, I'd let him come on me from behind.
Oh, okay.
She spins around before he can come on her from behind. It's so rude.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
So rude. Oh my god.
But this is where Lan is like, look, I'm not a king. And Bukama's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Murder
in the streets. Yeah. It's a little aggressive.
Yeah, Bukama, it's interesting because Bukama's like, the kingdom is gone, and Bukama's like, you cut your hair. How dare you pretend that you're still from Malkiri?
Yeah, Malkiri has some, like, weird fucking customs.
They have some weird kinks around hair.
Yeah, hair is, like, very kinky.
Yeah.
I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
But, like, we're not, like, explicitly told... Like, these are the customs. We learn the customs through people either, like, fucking up or, like, causing offense or whatever. And I'm like, this is one of those things where it's like, when people don't know your weird, lost customs, it's a little bit unreasonable to be offended.
Well, no, the kid knows.
No, I mean, like, when Moraine offers money and Lana's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You offer up offense. It's like, okay, well, how the fuck is she supposed to know that?
Yeah.
Nobody knows anything about Malkiri. Like, the whole fucking kingdom is dead.
Well, and if Lan never grew up in Malkiri, right? Then that kid on the bridge definitely never grew up in Malkiri. And so I think that, like, I understand where Bukama is coming from because he is, like, projecting his anger about his, like, world being torn away from him in his lifetime onto that kid. At the same time, I also think it is unreasonable of him to expect a child who was not truly raised in that culture, but had some people from that culture probably raising him, telling him, like, this is how we did it in the old country.
Yeah.
But that old country literally doesn't exist, right? Like, I don't think that kid, because he's younger than Lan, right?
Yeah.
So that guy never knew that country. And so...
Yeah.
It's so in order to have that expectation of someone who was raised away from it is harsh. And it's interesting because I think that Bukama is so harsh and he's written so harsh, but so honorable. He's a great character. I'm not like complaining about how he's written. I'm just
great character.
Being honest about how my feelings about the two sides of him of like, he is being unreasonable, but I don't really think it's the kid. I think that this is just the anger at Malkiri being gone.
Yeah,
right?
the one thing that I did not understand is that there are so few Malkiri left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, they have a really bad reputation. Like they're going through like villages or towns or cities or whatever it is, and everyone kind of like gets their back up, right? Because
I don't think they have a bad reputation.
It seems like they do.
I think that everyone is uncomfortable around them.
Really? Because it's like, like, don't go starting fights and stuff. Like...
Yeah, because they're renowned warriors. Like, I think that people are I think that what it is that Malkiri is gone, right? And it's down south.
Malkir is the I'm not sure exactly how you say it, but Malkir.
Whatever. The country is gone.
Yeah.
We're not going to pronounce it right, guys. We have not pronounced things right since book 1. If you came in to the 100th episode of Book Club expecting perfect pronunciation, I don't know. There are other shows. The Dusty Wheel is a great person who probably has better pronunciation than I do.
Probably.
Malkir is gone.
Yeah.
The reputation of Malkir warriors is that they're fucking like the great samurai warriors of the land who will fuck everybody up. Mm-hmm. So, but there's also an acknowledgement, I think, across the borderlands that you don't find in the South because they don't know. But the whole second half takes place in the borderlands. That their nation is gone and they're angry people because of it. Right? And I think that I think that people are walking on eggshells around them because what do you say to a person whose country has been ripped away from them?
Yeah.
Who has a sword, who is the most dangerous person, and has this, like, people around the borderlands probably know that there's a level of honor in Malkir that doesn't make it everywhere else, and they're like, I just don't want to deal with you.
I don't want to fuck up.
Because it's walking on eggshells with someone who can kill you with a look, right?
Right.
And also who you pity. And I think that there's a lot of pity in the way that people look at Lan throughout the second half of the book. And people are worried that he knows that it's pity because he might kill them for it.
Yeah. I guess it's also a thing where, like the survivors, the Malkiri survivors who were just like common folk or whatever, when you move somewhere new to try and belong, you sometimes lose a bit of like your history and your own culture to try and assimilate.
Well, that's so much about what Lan is talking about, right?
Yeah,
like throughout this whole second half of the book, Lan is like, when I'm gone, is Malkir gone? Because no one will remember it.
Yeah.
And so I think that like Bukama, as much as I think that Bukama's being harsh with this kid, who I just think like he was born after the country was gone. Like you don't even know who raised him, right? Like I think he's being a little bit unreasonable, but he's being unreasonable in a way that totally works for me in terms of developing the pain of Malkir for the audience.
Yeah.
I think that it's a really smart like writing tool to allow us to understand just how awful this is for Bukama and Lan by being like, look, like sometimes they act a little bit unreasonably because of it, and I totally sympathize with that.
When it sets up the like juxtaposition of what our characters know and what this like woman, whatever her name is, what's her face, who's been like riding around.
Adderall.
Edane? Is that what
Edane? I don't know. Eden.
Eden. I think it's Eden. I don't fucking know.
I was like Adderall. Like Adderall, but it's Adderall.
I was like, it's Eden. She's like riding around trying to like resurrect this dead kingdom, which they're not even really like aware of yet. And so I think that like really takes them by surprise because they're probably more used to people kind of giving them like not the cold shoulder, but like a little bit of indifference, right?
Berserker says also people forced into exile are likely to hold even stronger to old customs. I don't actually agree with that.
I don't know.
I don't think that, like, the children... I think that Bukama... Oh, I think you maybe are talking about Lan and Bukama, which I think is true. I think that this young boy... Because he's a couple years younger than Lan, right?
I think so, yes.
He doesn't know... Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. I think that the people who remember growing up in Malkier will cling to their customs more, Berserker. I agree with that. But I don't think that the people who are their children will. I think they will pick up the customs of the other kids that they grew up with.
They don't have that emotional connection to it in the same way. And that's, it's like Lan says, like, will anyone even remember after I'm gone? Which is, like, so fucking sad.
You see that a lot in, like, immigrant culture.
Yeah.
Where you'll have, like, a second generation that goes through a phase... All teenagers go through a phase of rebellion, but there will be a rebellion away from the culture of their parents.
Right.
And then typically the experience is that they will find their way back to that culture in adulthood.
Or like whatever the like mid ground is for that, right? They'll find how it works for them. It's, you know, there's a lot of teenagers who are like, I don't want to be my parents. But like that influence is still there, and so they find their own way in it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I really like the scene on the bridge. It set up emotional stakes for Lan that the first half of the book didn't for me. Mm-hmm. And so suddenly, like, all of Lan's scenes have so much impact because of what is set up on this bridge, which is included in, we should probably move on to the other part of this conversation, which is Adderall has been riding around the borderlands trying to whip up...
Adderall? What?
Her name is Edeyne.
Yeah.
Arral.
Oh, you're talking about her last name as well. I was like, what? Like, it's fine. Adderall. We'll go with Adderall.
Okay, so Adderall is riding around the Blight.
Yeah.
Whipping all the ADHD Malkiri people, readying them to retake Malkier, which I don't really know what that means. Like, is she going to carve it out of the Blight? Because that seems impossible.
It does seem impossible. I don't know what her plan is. Well, I mean, we know what her plan is.
She wants to be queen. She wants to be queen
mother.
Yeah.
Queen whatever it is in this world. But we know what that plan is. But like, I'm like, why are people gonna follow her into what seems to be a suicide mission? Like, are you just gonna keep chopping down the angry claw trees forever? Like, I don't...
Angry claw trees?
I don't know. Like, there's, like, worms and, like, cursed, like, lakes in the Blight. Like,
She's clearly very charismatic. Like, she rolls nat 20s on charisma.
Yeah.
But then, I think that the book never gets into what her plan is, because I don't think she has one.
No, I think the plan is to just, like, whip up a support for a nonsense campaign so that Lan is forced to do whatever the hell she wants, because she's kind of a dick.
And I think that Lan acknowledges that. Like, I think it's easy to see in Lan that he's like, we can't, like, fuck, we can't do this, woman.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we're not gonna carve Malkier out of the Blight. You arrogant fuck.
Yeah.
But you fucked me when I was 15, so I've got to deal with you.
Yeah, that whole custom is super fucking weird, but we'll get to that.
I kind of got it. It's definitely weird in a way that, like, I obviously wouldn't exist in our contemporary times, but this was the kind of thing where I was like, yeah, in medieval times that makes sense. Yeah,
they got weird fucking ideas about, I don't know.
Well, when you became a man is just different now, right? Like, there is a reason why the bar mitzvah's at 13, right? Like throughout history, as we've lived longer.
13 is, like, the brattiest age.
Oh,
like,
100%.
At least wait until they deserve it, you know what I mean? Like,
what?
Those parties are expensive. Would never spend that much on a child who's barely going to remember it. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's not for the kids. It's about the parents.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Lan talks down an officer by being like, I'm fucking Lan Mandragoran. And he's like, all right, come in, but, like, don't fight anyone. And Bukama's like, I will not fight anyone in your city.
By my mother's name.
That won't have any negative consequences. Lan and Bukama, they go to bed. No, they don't go to bed. They go to bed. I couldn't read my own notes for a second. They go to a small inn instead of going to the palace because Lan doesn't want to go to a ball. He's like, yeah. If the king knows I'm here, I have to do a bunch of shit that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Let's go sleep on the floor.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yes. Sorry, do I have amnesia from 13 or something? I don't have many childhood memories at all.
I don't have many memories.
That's fair.
There are people that I see who are like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, fuck, I have to pretend to know this person again. And we've hung out like 5 or 6 times. And like, I don't remember
I'm pretty
anything
sure
about them.
Yeah, someone told me we've met before.
If you aren't interesting, I probably won't remember you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoever you can't remember, I'm gonna tell them it's because you don't think that they're interesting.
It's probably true. We meet a lot of people. Like
I know. Because there's like thousands of people at cons.
Here's the thing. We never meet people like 2-on-1 or like in a group of 5. We meet people in a sea of 1,000 people at a convention.
Yeah.
Where like I will meet 1,500 people in 4 days. And then on Tuesday the next week, I will remember 6 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll remember the most like the standout experiences, and the other 1,493 people. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
What cosplay were you wearing when we ran into each other? It also doesn't help that all the people that we meet have like
wigs, contact lenses, makeup. Like I know
they're like painted blue, and I'm like. There was someone, I won't say who, but there was someone at con this past weekend who we met them in a cosplay. And then the next night they came to dinner and they were like, oh, we met yesterday and we talked. And I was
we were like,
what?
Oh.
I don't think we did. And they're like, yeah, this is the cosplay I was wearing. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, did not.
You look like a human now.
Yeah, different human.
And you didn't yesterday. I'm sorry I did not recognize you without all of the shit you had on your face.
Yup.
Anyway, that's my rant for today. There'll be more.
It happens.
So they go to an inn. But it's not the inn they want to go to because the innkeeper is like, Bukama. It reminded me of the scene in The Force Awakens where they walk into Maz Kanata's tavern and she's like, where's Chewbacca? I like that Wookiee. And I was like, oh my god, this is giving me like Maz Kanata energy.
Yeah, literally. Because she goes over and like... Well, yeah, she basically, like, claims him. I don't know how... It was an interesting scene. She's, like, kisses him, is upset with him, and is like, yeah, you're sharing my bed tonight. And then Lan gets, like, this serving woman to be like, let's fuck. And he's like... I can't say no, that would be rude, but, like, I don't actually want to. This is very unfortunate.
He wants to.
I don't know.
The lady doth protested too much.
He's like, I'm uncomfortable with this.
I don't think that's it. I think he's like, I can't make a move. Oh, yeah. I think
he wants a good night's sleep. I'm so tired.
He's like, I can't make a move, but if she's going to make a move, I'm going to fuck the shit out of her.
Well, and that's the thing. He's like, she'll find out how meek I am. Wink, wink. I'm like, wow. All right, Lan, calm down.
I was reading this and I was like, Lan is like, I'm going to demolish the bed. I'm going to break this woman. I'm going to blow her back out. Like Lan is
then he can get a good night's sleep.
Most prude fucking pervert I've ever seen in my life.
He's a prude pervert. Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I can't flirt. Oh, we're going to have sex. I'm going to fucking ruin your holes. Like it's so aggressively sexual.
It is very aggressive.
Because he does the same thing with a Dane later where Adderall where they're going to bed and he's like she may be a tigress, but she won't be once I get my hand. And I'm like, oh my god, Lan.
Oh god, okay. Like
God, no wonder Nynaeve doesn't get out of bed till 12:30. She's getting fucking rocked every night.
Absolutely ruined.
I'm amazed that woman can walk the way Lan talks about having sex.
Yeah.
He better actually be that good, though. Here's the problem with it. We never see the woman the next day being like, oh, wow, that was awesome. Lan might think that he's fucking incredible at sex, and he isn't. And that would be
Could
the
you imagine?
funniest. Like, because we only ever see Lan talk about sex abstractly before it's happening.
Yeah.
And he's always like talking this giant game. He's always like, oh, my dick's so big. I'm going to stretch her out. She's going to be gaping. You know what I mean? He's like, we're going 15 rounds tonight. And I just want it to cut to like 12 minutes later. Lan is like asleep. And the like girl's like rubbing like cum off of her thigh. Like...
She's like, well, I guess I'll go take care of myself.
She grabs the, like, strap-on Grial, gets it vibrating, you know, it's
exactly. She's like, someone's got to do it if it's not going to be fucking this guy. This fucking mess of a human.
I have some male friends who I will not name, who, when we're just having guy time, they talk a big game, but because I'm me, and because I'm very good at being friends with women, I feel like... That's a weird thing to say, but I feel like it's true because a lot of my friends' girlfriends have told me exactly how good or bad their sex life is, and there are a significant number of guys who talk a huge game and I know are not that good in bed because their girlfriends have told me.
That's so upsetting.
Yeah.
Those poor girls.
Because they come to the friend to be like, I don't know what to, like, I love him so much, but like he's not great in bed.
You have to tell him he's never going to get better if he thinks he's the best. Guys, communication. It's not in these fucking books, but it's very, very, very important.
See, people in chat are saying that Nynaeve is pretty happy with it, but Nynaeve is 1,000% a virgin when they have sex for the first time.
She might not know, like,
I'm just saying,
just be good because it's new, but you never know. He could be great.
He could be great.
Or he
That's
gets
also
good.
20 years from now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he gets good, you know, like, he's at this point of his life where he's like, yeah, I'm the man. And you're like, oh, honey.
This conversation is so fucking weird.
Are you surprised?
No, I just realized, like, we're like really, we are speculating on the sex life of an imaginary character.
This book is horny.
I know, but the book says that he's great at it. We're just like, I'm adding this on to be funny.
It just would be funny if that were not the case. That would make for a good, like, sitcom, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, interestingly, I feel like this is the first chapter where I had heard of the Golden Crane.
It pops up in the main series.
Does it? I don't remember them talking about Malkier being the Golden Crane. I always remember the Towers of Malkier. I'm not saying that it doesn't pop up. I'm just saying this was the first time the Golden Crane of Malkier like stuck out to me. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't remember that from any previous conversation about it. To be fair, Lan doesn't like talking about Malkier, so it's not super surprising.
Yeah.
But I just took a note of it. I was like, oh, like the Golden Crane, it doesn't stand out to me from the main series.
I feel like it was mentioned like once, but I don't know if it was in the book or the show.
Interesting.
Like I actually like am not sure when it was, but yeah, I do remember it being said.
Don't you worry though, because it will be mentioned every 3 pages for the rest of this novel.
Yes.
It comes up again.
Don't you worry.
But yeah, so Adane is trying to, while he's talking with the woman he's maybe gonna have sex with that night, it comes up that Adaineral is flying the Golden Crane, and Lan is like, fuck, I have to go deal with this. And so he goes out into the stable, and he assumes Cody, which I think is the first time the Flame in the Void has been given a name. I don't think it's called Cody in the main series at all.
No, but like, I know that when Rand explains it to Lan, he is like familiar with it.
I don't think he calls it Cody then though.
No, I'm not sure that he does because that was new to me unless we missed that one.
Because I chuckled every time. It's like
Cody.
Lan, because I was like, I wish that he had written like Lan gets inside Cody or Lan thrusts his mental energy into Cody, just because it would have been funny.
Oh my god.
So Bokama shows up, and Bokama and Lan are like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Bokama knows it's a problem. And then they get attacked.
Yeah.
I really appreciated Lan is like, oh, there's 6 of them. Bokama is not going to raise a blade. So he's like, Bokama, get in the fucking stable, lock the door.
Yeah.
And then even Lan, because I think that like main series Lan 6 people doesn't seem like it would be a big problem for him.
No, but in the book he's like, 6 on 1 is only in the stories. I'm gonna make my peace with the world now.
The stories that Robert Jordan writes about this world 20 years later, where everybody can fight a million people and like they're like anime level powerful. It was actually really refreshing to read a fight sequence in the Wheel of Time that had like
that didn't feel like
a realistic fight happening.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I like this a lot.
I mean, I think that when Rand has a couple of his sword fights in the earlier books, they actually, I think, have similar feels to them, but it's not
earlier
like,
books, yes.
It's not, but it's not like Rand feels like he's gonna lose. Lan is literally like, yeah, no, I'm fucked. Because Lan is not the Lan that we know in the main series. He's had like 20 more years of training.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
He also has the warder bond.
He's super powered. Yeah.
Like he's like a pretty great swordsman right now, but I don't know if he's like excellent. Like he's not like a master, right? And so I agree. I think that having our characters in this book be way less powerful than they are in the main series was nice, and it makes a lot of sense.
It was interesting because I feel like sometimes my eyes glaze over a little bit in the main series at this point in the fight sequences because our heroes are so good at fighting and they always kick ass that I was so invested here in that Lan was struggling to win. Yeah. And I think that Robert Jordan wrote that struggle really well. Yeah. And it goes back to something I've been talking about in the main series books throughout this, this read through of the books of like, I want the characters to lose a little bit more. I want them to learn from some failures in a way that I think that the main series books leans away from a little bit too often for my taste. Yeah. I greatly enjoy the series, but that's just, I think that there aren't a lot of like darkness of the soul moments. Yeah. If you study like storytelling, there's not a lot of like it's darkest before the dawn moments in Wheel of Time. And I feel like this book showed that Robert Jordan can write those moments really well. Not that this goes all the way there, but Lan takes some nicks and Lan is significantly hurt in this fight. And it was written in a really like, I was so engaged by the way he wrote this sword fight that I was like, oh, fuck, this is good. Like,
yeah, it's good.
The power creep of the main series has kind of taken us away from smaller fights like this. Yeah. But it was so engaging, and I just thought, like, I was legitimately like, I know Lan lives, but, like, is he going to survive this fight? Yeah. And he does, but, like, I was so in it. Like, this moment, I felt like I was in that courtyard. And I haven't felt that from a Wheel of Time book in a few books now. And so for this one to just draw me in again like that and remind me what I loved so much about Robert Jordan's writing in those earlier books was really just a joy. Like this was the moment where I was like, oh, fuck, I'm so excited to read the rest of New Spring. Yeah,
it's also because it's less complicated and magical, it's like much easier to relate to. Yeah. Right? It's a sword fight, obviously I can't relate to like sword fighting, but it's not like 10 different pieces in a huge scale battle and where is everybody and what are they doing all at the same time. It's one person against 6, right? Like it's very simplistic, but I don't say that in a negative way actually. I think it's very positive in this instance. Yeah, it's interesting. I actually feel like Robert Jordan, because he's so flowery with his language, when the concept that he's writing is a little bit simpler, I actually think that it suits his writing style more. Yeah. Whereas when he tries to get really complicated and big with things, he wants to describe every little bit of it, and so it slows everything down, and the pacing of everything becomes. I go back to the when they're fighting the Chachin in the mountains, and between each fight, there's these long periods of describing who all is in which location and what they're wearing, and then so the rhythm of that fight, you keep getting taken out of it because he wants to like describe so many pieces with so many words and a lot of repeated phrases that he likes, right? Yeah. Whereas in these moments where it's really a simpler thing, his desire to explain every bit of it, because there's not so many different directions for the audience to get pulled, I feel like his language and his use of that like flowery over descriptiveness in these smaller scenarios actually does what he wants it to do, of really making you feel like you're there, rather than in some of the other things making me feel a little bit bored. It comes across as like I don't know if I would call it like boring. It's not boring. It's more like cold in a way that like I can't like.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not bad. It's like it's specific, and I can appreciate it, but I can't connect to it the same way that I can with this.
This whole second half of this book, like there's so much good stuff we're gonna be talking about today, guys.
Really fantastic.
Yeah, really fun. And so Lan does win, even though the whole time he's like, one guy can't beat 6. That's not realistic. One guy can't beat 6 without taking wounds. That's not realistic. Even though Lan does that, Lan will go on to be that guy. Like, he's like, I'm not that guy, but Lan is that guy.
Yeah.
Eventually, once he gets superpowers. Also, the way he describes, there was one moment, he describes cutting the guy's eye out.
Yeah,
And that was the one that I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot. That was very spicy.
And so everyone runs out after Lan wins, and they're yelling around. Rhine, the innkeeper, turns to a Damani woman and is like, "Go get the guard." And the Damani woman's like, "Yes, ma'am," and she like runs off. And I appreciated the Rob Jordan describes this beat as like. Lan is like surprised that she does that, and then he realizes like, oh, everyone's in shock. Like people. Robert Jordan, and we talk about this a lot in our book club, because he was a veteran, he has this really good handle on what people do with shock. And in these moments after these moments, because he probably experienced very, very bleak shit, right? And
watched everyone else experience it in their own way. He would be
he's an expert on that.
Expert. That's the word I was looking for. He would be an expert in like how people react to horrible trauma, right?
Yeah. And this because I don't think I would ever have written a beat like this. I wouldn't have thought about it this way. But in reading him write it, I'm like, oh yeah, when you're in shock, you're not yourself.
No.
You go into like a childlike form of everyone goes into like the childlike form of themselves, and whoever starts to make decisions the fastest generally gets listened to, simply because everyone just wants someone else to deal with it.
Yes.
And I just, this whole chapter was fucking rad.
Yeah.
The Lan being 15 thing was a little bit weird, but other than that, like, this chapter fucking rad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, well, that sucked. We need to leave now.
And Rin goes with them.
Bukama, sorry, you can't fuck.
Yeah, sorry.
Ryan is the guy.
Ryan? Yeah.
I said Ryan was the innkeeper, but no, the innkeeper is...
Oh, no, the innkeeper, what's her name?
I don't remember. I didn't write it down. I wrote Ryan twice, but it's not Ryan. Whatever, the innkeeper's the one who does that. Ryan is the one who's like, I'm gonna come with you.
Oh, Arovni, Mistress Arovni.
Sure.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Arovani.
Yeah, so no, I know Ryan. Ryan just sounds like rind to me, and it's not very flattering.
Rene.
Sure.
Hello, my name is Rene.
He's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna come with you because I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, he's really this random dude.
Well,
he's not random to them, but he's random to us.
Yeah.
Sure, like, you're on the team.
They know one another, but I was like, all right, we picked up a stray. Let's go.
And so we cut to chapter 17. Moraine. It's time to spend some time with the start of the book. The leader of the Blue Ajah, but not really, but in my heart. The leader of the Blue Ajah of my heart. Moraine Damodred, who, guys, Moraine Damodred gets fucking spicy in this book.
Yeah. She is a cool fucking character.
She is. She's a cold fucking character, too.
Well, yeah. But it makes me actually understand her a lot more.
Yeah.
In the eye of the world. Like, I think that this prequel, it's great. Like, actually, I think it's great.
Oh, no, this is a top 5 book in the series for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking. I think this book rocks.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only Wheel of Time books I put above this are Shadow Rising, Lord of Chaos, Dragon Reborn, and I think that might be it. I think this might be 4 for me.
Maybe 4. I don't know. I really
think it'll drop down. I think there's stuff coming up that'll probably beat it, right? Like, I think Memory of Light probably ends up pretty high.
Yeah. We'll see where it ends up in the long run.
Yeah, I think this is like I think this is top 4 for me in terms of the series. It's fucking like we'll get to the Marion and Moiraine fight. It's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Fires of Heaven, Yives, I love the Rand Perrin side of Fires of Heaven, and I don't like the naive Moraine traveling with the circus side. And so Fires of Heaven just drops down a little bit because...
Moraine, no, Elaine. But yeah,
Elaine Naive, right.
Yeah.
That, half of that book is so good, and the other half of that book is not my favorite.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair.
Jylan Bennett says, I thought you would hate Moraine in this book. She's a bit nasty.
She is petty as fuck.
She's young.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She feels different from the Moraine that we know, which is what, like, I don't know if I would want to... No, I would want to be friends with Moraine. She seems good to, like, her friends. But yeah, she's petty.
You are petty as fuck.
No.
You like Moraine in this book because she reminds you of you.
No,
She's pulling pranks. She's petty as fuck.
Well, I wasn't pulling pranks when I was 22.
She thinks she's the main character.
I kind of relate to her when I was like 15, you know?
Sure.
Moraine, like, feels more like a child in this book, which, like, she kind of is.
No, she feels early 20s. She feels like she feels like an enthusiastic college student who thinks she's going to change the world by herself. You know what I mean? Like that girl that's in like women's lit and her whole college curriculum is built around like the most progressive classes her college offers. She thinks that like she's going to single-handedly change the world. Like Moraine feels like that. But the final beats of this book kick her in the stomach a little bit. And point us in the direction of how we get to the Moraine that we meet in Eye of the World. What I love about Moraine is the thing that I was missing from the the White Tower in the first half of this book was the White Tower already feels like the mess that it is in Wheel of Time. Moraine doesn't just feel like Moraine from the later books. Moraine feels like a fundamentally changed character from this book to Eye of the World. And I like that. I like when prequels show you a character who has completely changed over the course of their life.
Absolutely.
And showing the moment at the end of this book that changes her forever. Like the reason why I like Moraine in this book is actually because she's so different from Eye of the World, but I totally see how she gets there.
Absolutely.
And I still think Moraine is one of the best characters Robert Jordan created.
I agree.
And I miss her desperately.
I miss her a lot.
I need her to come back.
I feel like we relate to Moraine because we are also petty. You know, petty relates to...
I'm petty as fuck.
I know. I was on Twitter the other day.
That wasn't me being petty.
It was hilarious.
We don't need to get into that debate.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just very funny.
But no, I fucking love this book. Honestly, guys, I think New Spring rocks. The second half of it. The first half of it's fine. The first half of it is like a prologue to an incredible story.
Yeah. The first bit is like interesting.
Oh God, you guys, chapter 17, An Arrival. This first beat of this chapter, I lost it. Because I thought, if this is your first book club, I'm dyslexic.
Oh, what did you think?
I thought that she was at Jareen Narishma's house.
You were like, Narishma!
I was like, Narishma's mom? Like, I was like losing it. I was like, oh, this is a cool prequel moment.
That's very funny.
About the 15th time I read it, I was like, oh, Najima.
Yeah. You're so close.
I was like, wait, what? Narishma shows up all of a sudden? Like, this is crazy. No, it's not Narishma, it's Najima. I literally went on to the, like, Wheel of Time, like, companion app to go figure out what, to make sure
character?
that I was,
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I was having such a good time with it.
It would have been kind of cool, but, no, apparently not. Oh my god, my face is literally peeling off. That's a cute look, y'all.
Oh, it keeps, every time you move your mouth, it gets a little bit bigger. I didn't want to say anything, but, like, yeah.
I'm about to peel it off like a mask.
Yeah. And then underneath, Tom Cruise.
No.
And then you go jump up on the couch in the back of the set.
I was going to say Jim Carrey, but that's fine. The Mask. Come on.
Mission Impossible.
Never seen it.
They have these masks where they can look at like other people. And so they peel off other people's faces and they're underneath.
Arya Stark. That's what it is. I'm about to kill Walder Frey.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is so bad. Guys.
We have to film an ad for Monday later.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. How have you've never seen any of the Mission Impossible? There's 7 of them.
I've never seen any of them.
Wow. Don't watch the second one, but every other one is Chef's Kiss.
Right.
We'll watch the second one at some point, but.
Yeah. I haven't seen something. I know, it's crazy.
Oh my god.
Tell them the North remembers. That's it's an alert on my channel. It's great.
There is a peeling off the mask moment, reveal who's under the mask, that is in Mission Impossible 3. Yeah. That is one of the best cinematic reveals of all time.
All right.
Like, it is there is a moment, it is, and it involved, because of the way that they film it, it involves both of the actors like sharing this performance. So on top of it being the reveal being good, when you think about how much these two actors must have worked together to make it happen, it is true. Mission Impossible 3, first of all, Philip Seymour Hoffman's the villain. One of the greatest actors of all time.
Incredible.
Mission Impossible 3 is so fucking good.
All right.
And
I guess I'll have to watch it.
It has genuinely one of the best moments in film. Like, one of my favorite all-time reveal moments. To know. It's so good.
Izzy, I'm sorry if I say that wrong. Welcome to the Nerd Table. Appreciate that.
Yeah, truly rest in peace. I'm so glad I got to see him on stage in Death of a Salesman on Broadway.
Fair enough.
Yeah, don't peel it on video.
No, I'm guys, the esthetician literally was like, do not peel it. You cut it with scissors.
Sure.
I was like, great.
So Moraine is at Najima's house trying to find out if her son is the Dragon Reborn. But no, it's so much darker than that, because all of her sons and her husband were burned alive in a barn nearby recently.
Yeah, so question about that.
Yeah. So answer about that.
That is like some fucking crazy coincidence, right? Like,
no, that's... Black Ajah killed them.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you think that was...
I was like, no, it's...
Well, when I first read it, I didn't... I was like, wow, that, like, sucks. You know, what bad luck. But then when we get to the end of the book, I was like, oh, like, that's some Black Ajah bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Because there are also Aes Sedai in the city, so...
Yeah, no, this was definitely Marianne. Come on, Marianne!
Yeah.
Come on, Marianne!
Yeah. 100%.
How did you pronounce her name in your head when you were reading it? Marianne? It took me a long time to settle on Marianne.
Marianne.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
But I called her Marianne because of that song.
Yeah. I think that works.
Whoa, oh, here I am on my knees again.
We did the show. It's acceptable.
No, it's never acceptable.
Oh, please. Wheel of Time, thank you for the super chat.
Have you seen The Boat That Rocked at Nerdynightly, aka Pirate Radio in America? It was Philip Seymour Hoffman and is super feel good. Yes, I have seen.
Oh, I have not.
Pirate Radio. It is very good.
Okay.
I don't know that there's a Philip Seymour Hoffman performance I haven't seen.
It's fair.
I literally sat on the ground overnight outside of a Broadway theater. Literally, I sat down at 6:30. The 8 p.m. show the night before went in, watched the show, came out. There were like 6 of us still in line. We sat there through the night. At 10 a.m., the box office opened. We were the first people in line to get standing room tickets because it was the student rush tickets because it was the last day. They were closing on Sunday, so it was the last show they were doing student rush for because they weren't doing it for closing.
Right.
And so I literally spent all night on the concrete outside of a Broadway theater to see Philip Seymour Hoffman do Death of a Salesman with Andrew Garfield, and it was the greatest performance I've ever seen in my life.
That's fair.
It was unreal. It was worth it. I was in pain, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
I would do anything to watch Philip Seymour Hoffman again. He is my hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she heads into town in Canloom. Hey, where's Lan? Canloom.
What?
I think this is where they're going to meet.
What?
It's not.
It's not.
No,
close.
Instead she stalks him on the road.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to follow these 3 men.
Oh my god, do we have an hour to talk about Cadsuane? We do. Okay. So she goes to the Gates of Heaven, which is
a reference to the Fires of Heaven, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's what you call
It's what you call the thighs.
Well, and there's only women in there? No, it's not. It's what's between the thighs.
The gates? No, the gates got to open before you can get to the fires.
I know, but it was just funny that the inn called the Gates of Heaven
is the all women. I know.
There's only women inside of it.
Yeah.
And warders, but they don't count.
Yeah.
And so she is hiding from the 5 of them in the Gates of Heaven, but in walk Laurel Tarsi and Marianne Redhill, and then Cadsuane comes in, and I was like, oh fuck. does Cadsuane take over the rest of this book? Because I really didn't want that. I didn't want Cadsuane to, like, steamroll the plot.
No, I think that's fair.
And instead, Cadsuane functionally does nothing except be a bully and threaten Moraine with violence.
Yeah.
But
as Cadsuane does.
I didn't feel... This felt too coincidental for me, and I didn't really like it.
Really?
By the end of the book, because it doesn't come back in any way. This is just a, like, random aside.
But she comes back in the main series, so I actually thought it tied in, like, really nicely, because Cadsuane is there for a reason, right? She's good at sussing out people and motives, right? And so I'm sure she's, like, in her retirement, and there's some buzz going around. She hears that Aes Sedai are moving around. Like, you know, something is amiss, and she inserts herself right into the middle to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Here's the thing. I didn't want her... When she showed up, I didn't want her to take over the rest of the book.
And she doesn't, which is good.
But I also wanted her... I also wanted what she did to... Because we're spent a whole chapter with her just talking about what she... Whatever. I wanted it to matter to the book. Because Moraine and Cadsuane never meet each other in the main series, as far as we know.
Here's the thing.
And that's obviously Moraine's going to come back because Lanfear came back. So, like, I think Moraine comes back, and maybe this is relevant to, like...
I think Moraine comes back.
And what, Cadsuane spanks her 30 years later?
No. Moraine believes that Cadsuane is Black Ajah. Moraine comes back, and Rand is using Cadsuane as an advisor. She's going to lose it. There's going to be some problems.
But then that implies that Moraine and Cadsuane never ran into each other for 20-some years.
Moraine never ran into, like, any Aes Sedai because she was doing her own thing and trying to avoid them at all costs. She had no idea who was going to, like, capture her and drag her back to the tower, right? She avoids Aes Sedai.
If Moraine and Cadsuane, if Moraine comes back in Knife of Dreams and they have an interaction that ties into this, I think it will be more interesting.
Sure, yes, I agree. I think it is foreshadowing, which is weird because it's a prequel for 20 years ago.
But if this foreshadows nothing, I think I will just feel weird about the fact that there is a chapter where Moraine essentially gets berated by Cadsuane without much value. In my opinion, I don't think there's a lot of value within this book of this scene. Because she's like, Cadsuane essentially forces Moraine to flee Canloom, but she was already leaving.
She was already going to leave, yeah.
She doesn't change her plans because of this scene. I don't feel... I think I would have liked it a little bit more if this scene had convinced Moraine that she needs a warder, but she already wanted a warder. Like, there wasn't... I didn't feel like Cadsuane, like, imprinted anything on Moraine other than Moraine thinking that Cadsuane is Black Ajah.
Well, I think that she thinks that she's Black Ajah, right? But I think she also completely, like, pisses all over Tower Custom and brings up that the tower is failing and kind of reaffirms Moraine in specific ways that are small and I don't think have, like, a huge long-term impact. But I do think that it's not nothing, basically.
Oh, it's not nothing. It just... It felt like a weird, like, detour into, remember this book character from the main series books? Yeah. And now back to the story. Right? It just kind of felt like, it just felt like we kind of, like, we're just, like, in the middle of a prequel, going down a road where Moraine is trying to do this thing, and then, Cadsuane's gonna show up and be a bully for a chapter.
She also tells her to find a warder.
Yeah, but Moraine was already saying she wanted one. It would have been more, but that's what I mean. Like, if Moraine had come into this interaction being like, I don't want a warder. And then because Cadsuane is able to kind of, like, leave over on her and she can't see it coming, then Moraine walks away from this interaction realizing, hey, I actually do need a warder. I can't do everything by myself. That woman is Black Ajah, but she's also right. I do need a warder. I think then this scene would have had more value, right? But I just feel like Cadsuane kind of disagrees with Moraine on a bunch of stuff, but aggressively.
It's one of those moments where it's like, we know that Moraine was not going to stay in this city, right? We know that. But maybe her, like, leaving extra early and being the first one out of the gates wouldn't have happened without Cadsuane to, like, sneak out, and she might have, like, missed Lan. We don't know what her original plan was, whether it was to, like, leave at dawn, but it does kind of feel like she leaves at the earliest possible moment so that she can sneak out, as opposed to leisurely going to the next place. So I think you could, like, reasonably argue that she might not have met Lan without it, potentially, but we don't know.
I don't know, because I think that she still would have seen that guy talked to the Aes Sedai and still been like stalking him, right? Ryan.
Guy talked to the Aes Sedai?
Yeah, Ryan talks to Moraine, and that's why she's chasing them, right?
No, she recognizes him because she
yeah, but she
sees
chases him down because of that, right? I think that she still would have been interested in him.
I just don't think that she would have seen them if she had not left at that exact moment. Ryan would have just disappeared.
Sure. Yeah, they might have run into each other a different way. I'm not saying like...
We'll never know for sure, right?
Colonel Sanders says, also, if you read the prequel first, it is nice intro to Cadsuane before meeting her prior to book 7. I kind of disagree with that. I think if I read this book first and then I read The Wheel of Time, and I would get through book 6 just being like, I guess Cadsuane died in those 20 years because she's never mentioned by anybody.
Well, people think she's dead.
Yeah, and then, but because in this book, she's like, I might die in 3 years or like 30. And I think it would be actually weirder to read this book first and then be like, whatever happened to Cadsuane? Like, this character seemed the most powerful Aes Sedai, seemed very important in that prequel book, but then never shows up. And then in book 7, you're like, oh, she's here.
Surprise! Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I found Cadsuane hasn't changed, which isn't surprising.
No.
But it just wasn't my favorite use of the character. I wish that she had imprinted I wish I wanted Moraine to learn more lessons throughout the book, right?
Right.
And I kind of felt like this is like the most I can say about this is you're right. It did force Moraine to leave a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
In the day. Is that worth spending a whole chapter watching Moraine get like truly like bullied?
Yeah.
And like not with any purpose. Like Cadsuane is just bullying her to be a bully. There's no Cadsuane gets nothing out of this, and I don't know what she thinks Moraine gets out of it. She's just rude. And it's rudeness without any seeming purpose. Like
It is funny that she is rude to literally everybody and they just like put up with it because of this like stupidly weird age, like arbitrary like age and power means you can do whatever you want, even though she breaks like every like custom, not law, but like custom.
I just don't... It makes her not realistic to me, honestly. Like, Cadsuane is written to be so domineering and rude that I don't really understand why anyone would listen to her. Like, I don't get it.
Fucking weird.
If a woman talked to me this way in a professional setting, I would laugh at her.
I wonder if it's like a military thing. Robert Jordan's like, yeah, people talk like this to me in the military all the fucking time.
But in the military, there is a reason for the structure. Whereas in the Aes Sedai, Moraine literally gets told about the power thing.
After she becomes Aes Sedai.
And then leaves.
I know.
Like, she's not even in the tower long enough for that to get ingrained in her.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a weird, like... Cadsuane is the person I do not want by my side. No matter how good she is. Cadsuane is bad for morale. Cadsuane is bad for like... If I'm going into war, I want the people with me to feel like we are there for one another, and Cadsuane is only there for herself.
I disagree. Cadsuane gets Rand out of the mist. She takes charge. She makes it fucking happen for them. They might have all died. Second of all, Cadsuane basically saves Rand and Nynaeve on that hill because she takes charge and is like, this is exactly how we're going to do the thing, and it works. So I don't know. I would be on Cadsuane's side.
That's light.
What?
Like her on the hill. Like, yeah, she, like, kind of directs people what direction to go. But Cadsuane isn't fucking, like...
Rand and Nynaeve were gonna just sit there and hope for the best, and Cadsuane is like, no.
Cadsuane's ability in that is that she has a trinket that lets her point out where for what's-his-face to fight. Like,
sure. I'm
not saying she's useless. I'm saying that, like, personally, if I'm building a roster of, like, who I'm taking into battle with me, I'm not taking the person who is rude to everyone.
Top 3.
Because nobody wants to fucking work with her.
She's a pain in the ass, but
there's a reason why every time she shows up, the Aes Sedai are like, fuck, let's get out of town as fast as possible.
But
you lose good people when you lose good people when you have rudeness at your company.
They do whatever she says anyways.
Yeah, but I don't think that's I don't buy that in real life. I think this is a character who exists because the fiction of the narrative allows her to. But I think that I personally think that if Cadsuane were as effective as the books say she were, she would be more manipulative at getting people on her side and better at sussing out what strategy to use with different people. And I think Cadsuane would be more interesting as a character if we saw her use different tactics with different people instead of always acting like a fucking hammer.
I think that the bullying is like a cover-up tactic. She has like 4 different layers and plans going on underneath. And if she keeps this like brash, aggressive attitude and people think they know exactly what Cadsuane is trying to do because she's so vocal and forceful about it, it allows her to hide her undercurrent plans much better.
I think that anyone who attempts to use the same tactic on every single person they meet will ultimately fail with 50% of people. And the fact that the books say that Cadsuane's tactic works with every single person, I don't buy that. I think that a smart leader
I don't know if I buy that
knows
either.
how to approach situations differently. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Cadsuane does that. She has one mode, and I'm getting a little bit tired of... I've been tired of her from the beginning. I don't like this character. She is like... she's probably my least favorite character in the Wheel of Time, simply because she is so consistent about this one thing that I don't really enjoy.
Yeah.
And the books just want me to believe that it just works because the books say that it works. And I don't think that it would. I don't think Fail's dad.
Bashir?
I don't think Bashir would put up with it. Bashir would be like, look, I fucking know how to do my job. Like, get off my dick.
This world has, like, is much more ingrained in, like, a hierarchy than I think, like, you and I are, right? Like, it's one of those things that's, like, no, I wouldn't fucking listen to her either. But I think it's built like this entire world is built like a military structure because it's what Robert Jordan related to. I don't know if I necessarily buy it either because I, in that situation, would be like, who the fuck do you think you are? But it works in this world. Trevor, welcome to the nerd table.
Trevor, thank you.
We appreciate that. But yeah, it's just she's a very interesting character, which is why we're able to like talk about her at length, right? Which I think is very, very cool.
MJ Bull says Cadsuane is among the eldest of the military Ajah. 100%. And if she used that tactic with other people in her Ajah and had other tactics, I think she would be more interesting to me, right? Like, I think that Cadsuane being like this with the Aes Sedai, it does make sense, right? Mm-hmm. My problem with the character is that we've seen her with other people, and it is never different. There's no
Varen.
Not really. Varen, she just doesn't need to bully Varen because Varen just already does what she says.
Well, no, they think that she thinks that they have the same, that their goals are aligned in a way.
Sure, yeah.
And so here's the thing: we haven't really seen her with Varen one-on-one because it always like kind of fades to black. You know, they they sit down to have tea together, and we don't really see what that interaction is. I would love to see it.
I would find her more interesting if she just had more colors. And I find her very I find her to just kind of be this like one note.
Yeah, that's fair.
And sometimes one note can be fine when that character isn't the domineering, trying to lead everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Like, as like a background character. But when she's never the background character. Every scene that she's in is about her.
Yeah. Literally
every time she's on page, everybody else stops for her.
Yeah.
To do this one thing that it's just always the same.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It never works for me. And this chapter is the one part of this book that I was like, oh my God, this is... 20 years later, she's still doing the same fucking thing. And I don't enjoy it.
See, I liked it. But yeah, basically, she goes on her way. Moraine is like, oh shit, she's gonna check up on me. So I love that literally the moment Cadsuane like pops in and then like leaves, Moraine is like, all right, fucking let's go.
No, she counts to 100.
Sorry, yes.
She does count to 100. But that doesn't happen yet because first, in the chapter in the sequence of conveniences that kind of happen here, Moraine walks outside after getting berated by Cadsuane and is like, fuck, I wish Swan was here. Hey, Swan!
Wish for something hard enough and you
what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah. No, that was very funny. Swan is like, wow, I thought I'd never find you. I was like, yeah, me too. Like,
was there a point in this book where you thought Lan was going to end up being Ta'Viren?
Lan?
I thought the reveal was that Lan was going to be Ta'Viren when they get to the luck stuff at, what's it called? When they get to Ice Daishar, And they're talking about how, like, oh, the boy fell and he didn't get hurt because of Lan's luck. And, like, Lan, like, I was like, is Lan folding the pattern? Well, we'll get to it later. We'll get to it when we get to it.
I don't, yeah, he's not, I don't think, but yeah.
But yeah, so Swan and Moraine have a little secret meeting in an alleyway. It's very cute. It's very gay. Sorry to Kyle on Twitter.
And White Cloak.
I'm not sorry to that guy.
That
guy
not
can
sorry
get fucked.
to that guy.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
But do you want the relationship to die in the show? I was like, who talks about relationships ending as relationships dying? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Guys, there's some people on Twitter that are very
wrong.
Yeah.
And homophobic.
Yeah.
So the this is fucking rad. After a chapter, look, I'm sorry, didn't like it. But this chapter, holy fucking shit. Swan shows up and is like, yo, everybody's fucking been murked. Like, the SEAL Team 6 came in and took out goddamn everybody.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I think Tamara might have been murdered. I think that everyone has been murdered. Holy shit. Guys, Black Ajah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like a big just hat drop. You're like, oh, all right. I guess they're fighting the literal magic devil servants.
Yeah.
It
brings up a couple questions for me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were gonna have more to say there.
No, go for it.
Remember earlier in the podcast when I said sometimes Clarice just 404s? That was one of those times.
No, you were like, I have some thoughts, and I was like,
oh no, before that, I was like waiting. I was like,
oh no.
No, nothing. So I think that I kind of wish that the Black Ajah had come up earlier in the book.
Yeah.
Light Blinded Fool says, apparently all of the competent Aes Sedai became Black Ajah. It kind of seems like it.
It does seem like that, yeah.
But stop. Don't pick at it. Just stop.
So funny.
Just stop picking at your lips. Stop picking at that.
My face is falling off. It's fine.
I kind of wish the Black Ajah had been brought up earlier in the book. Instead of just this being the first time they're mentioned, when she's like, oh, the Black Ajah. You remember when we were kids and we would try not to talk about it because we get in trouble? I wish that we had seen a beat of that earlier in the book. Just like a moment of like one of them like making a joke about the Black Ajah and the other girls getting upset or something like that to kind of foreshadow so that it didn't feel like this was the first time it ever came up.
Yeah, or maybe, one of like their like pranks that they like think about or something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
this book, you definitely need to have read the series to read this book.
I think a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder why Moraine, and maybe she did and I'm not remembering it, but I don't feel like Moraine ever set up that the Black Ajah existed for Rand. And I feel like as a mentor for him in his potential working with the White Tower, I
mean, she tells him not to trust everybody.
But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the ability or the understanding of what the potential dangers of the White Tower are.
She definitely should have been like, hey, we have to go to the White Tower.
But also
the Black Ajah is a thing. I have fought them my whole life. And we just need to be very careful.
And I wonder if it's just that Moraine, or if Robert Jordan hadn't really come up with the structure of the Black Ajah in the first couple of books.
Yeah.
When they go to the White Tower with her. Right? Because in the Great Hunt, they go with her, right?
Yeah.
And so I just wonder if maybe he hadn't like really like figured that part of the White Tower structure out. But it is interesting to me now that her and Swan are so adamant that it exists in the prequel 20 years earlier that she never brings it up to Rand. Meanwhile, she's trying to be his mentor figure.
Yeah, it does seem like a very important piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it was just more that he hadn't really like solidified what they were yet in the earlier books. But yeah. So it is interesting that they didn't tell him.
Yeah, no, I feel like she's so aware of it in this book that it's actually interesting to me that it didn't come up more earlier on. And
Samantha, first of all, thank you for that super chat. I think this is Moraine not speaking ill of the White Tower to an outsider to everyone's detriment. I would agree with that if Rand was a person, just another person. But the fact that Moraine has given up everything in her life to find the Dragon Reborn and make sure that he is capable and cared for until he can do what he's got to do, I just think that putting the, like, reputation of the White Tower above that doesn't seem very Moraine to me. Like, Moraine knows that the tower is kind of dwindling, kind of falling apart, that it's corrupt in a lot of ways. I think that sharing that information with the literal person you've spent 20 years trying to find would be important. I would think that she would share that. She didn't. It is what it is, but...
It just feels like... It feels a little bit like a retcon of the state of Moraine's opinion of the White Tower and Great Hunt. It feels like it's like flavor that's added that doesn't feel like it's there when they go there the first time.
Yeah. I just feel like that, like, the fact that the Black Ajah exists warrants a, like, sit down, like, hey, we're going to Tarvalon.
Yeah.
This is the deal. As opposed to the kind of very vague hints and information that Moraine is like, don't trust anybody, I'm going to take care of you. I definitely think it would have been better to give Rand the full picture, but yeah, I think it's more of a retcon thing. Just as opposed to, like, Moraine's character. That's all. Not that big of a deal. But
yeah. Sisami says Rand already suspects her, and the two rivers thinks as are just dark friends. Would it really be a good idea for Moraine to bring up the Black Ajah? I think post Eye of the World, yes. I don't think in Eye of the World, but I think when they're on their way when they're going there for Great Hunt, I do think that would have been the time. It also would have set up, I think, the Leandrin reveal really well. Like, I think there's things in Great Hunt that the reveal of the Black Ajah is in that book already. Yeah. I just think that if I were Moraine, who already doesn't really seem to care about custom, like, there's so many people argue about the customs of the White Tower, about a character who we regularly see break the customs of the White Tower with almost every single one of her actions.
Yeah.
Like, that is never a concern.
Yeah.
Rand didn't go to the Tower in the Great Hunt. Isn't that literally the end of the book?
Well, no, they take Matt there, right? But, like, Rand kind of gets, like, separated while they chase him in, like, book 2. But, like, I just think that, like... right. No, they go after Padden Fane. Yeah, but
no. You guys are right. I'm remembering the events of that wrong. I'm thinking that after they get the dagger, they all take Matt to Tarvalon, but I don't think Rand ever goes.
No, but
Rand leaves them. That's right.
I do still think that Rand, being the Dragon Reborn, it is something he should know.
No, because Moraine isn't with them. Moraine is in the hut. Sorry, this is like 12 books ago. Or 11 books ago. Moraine goes to the hut with the ladies to learn about the Dragon Reborn, and Rand and Perrin and Ingtar chase Padden Fane. So there isn't time in Great Hunt for that. Moraine and Rand aren't together until the very end of the book. And then Rand leaves. Rand runs off on his own, right? No. Then they go to the mountains, right? Fuck. Don't they live in, like, the mountains for, like, a week? And then Rand leaves?
Yes, they have a camp that Moraine sets wards around before Rand leaves.
Yeah, never mind. This was all silly. You guys are right. There isn't really a place for that conversation.
I don't know. I think he's like, I'm the Dragon Reborn. And Moraine is like, okay, I'm going to give you all the information you need to know. I just think it's important, but whatever.
I think that he does know about it, though. I just don't think that we see that conversation play out in a way that I think would have been interesting. That's fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. We need to keep moving. We're at, what, an hour and a half? No, only an hour and 20. Guys, we're doing great. We're crushing it.
Oh, yeah, we started a little bit late.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I don't know what we're going to do about filming that ad, though.
My face will be
We should have filmed We should have filmed it first.
My face is going to peel for it. They're just going to have to deal with that.
We'll just pretend you're a zombie.
Yeah.
That it's sci-fi makeup.
Yeah.
And so so Moraine accuses Cadsuane of being Black Ajah to Swan. And Swan is like, let's leave now. And Moraine is like, no, we'll leave separately, but we'll meet up in Chachin.
Yeah.
See you there. I'm gonna search for this girl on the road. You search for this girl, and we'll run into each other there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I feel like Swan is kind of wasted in the second half of this book.
A little bit.
She's kind of like there, but doesn't really do very much.
Yeah, I know.
I wish that she had played into the final beats of this novel a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there to the end, but yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of like Swan's big scene, because other than this, she's just kind of like around sometimes through the rest of it.
Yeah.
Chapter 19, Pond Water. Moraine starts flirting with Lan by bullying him like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You know when like
Moraine
kids are mean to each other because they're like kind of into each other?
Moraine is petty as fuck.
Moraine is trying to groom Lan into being her warder by
bullying him?
but like with like the dumbest pranks ever.
Well, and it
not
wasn't,
dumbest, but like the like lightest kind of.
It wasn't weird until at the end of the book she's like, from the moment I saw you, I knew I wanted you as my warder. If without that line, this would be less weird. But the fact that she literally bullies him like a fourth grader.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's just mean to you because he likes you. Like,
I'm going to put ants in your underclothes. I was like, oh my God.
So that you respect me.
So after Moraine checks in, or after Cadsuane checks in on Moraine, she counts to 100, which does not seem like long enough to me. That's like a minute and a half.
You just count real slow.
But Cadsuane might be downstairs. Like, how far is Cadsuane going in a minute and a half?
I don't know.
But so she goes out to the stable. She leaves her saddlebags behind.
Yeah.
So she's like just...
her pack horse and saddlebags.
Yeah. So she's taking very little with her. And then she rides out to the gates, but they're not open. So she just kind of sits there chilling. And I was like, I feel like you could have snuck out your saddle. You had plenty of time. Like, I feel like you could have...
Yeah.
You could have figured this one out.
Well, no, it wasn't about not... It was to be less suspicious. She was trying to pretend to just be going on a ride, so that if anyone saw her, it would be less suspicious than her taking all of her belongings on her pack horse. Like, that makes it seem like she's running away.
Sure, I just feel like... I feel like she's in this position of, like, she's going to be running anyway. Like, Cadsuane would have to, like, hard gallop to catch up with her. But she's sitting there for, like... she's sitting there for, like, 45 minutes. Just being like...
Well, no, there's a lineup. But yeah, she like sees like
no, because when she gets there, the three guys are in front of her, right? They're waiting too. But then by the time the gates open, there's like all of these people behind her. Like the time, a significant amount of time passes where she's just kind of like sitting there waiting, and
she like lets all the carts go through.
The stable. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised Cadsuane didn't tell the stable guy to come tell her if Moraine leaves.
I guess Cadsuane didn't think she would leave her like pack horse behind.
I guess it was just funny to me. I was like, this is.
Yeah.
She really is trying to escape and she just has to sit there.
I know.
I want this scene in the show and it's just Moraine on a horse for like the first 10 minutes of an episode waiting for the gates to open.
Yeah.
I don't actually want that, Rafe. Please.
Please don't. That was a joke.
Rafe Judkins, I know you watch the show.
Comedy. Thank
you for being here every week. It's so kind of you.
Appreciate you.
Please do not put in 10 minutes. I'll actually, I don't know. I would watch Rosamund Pike.
Do anything.
Sit on a horse for 10 minutes just like watching people.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if, like, Lan is there in the background.
Or in the foreground. So, the gates do eventually open. Moraine did see... We talked about it already, but then when she came back from talking with Swan, she saw Ryan and Marianne talking, but she didn't know that it was Marianne.
Yeah. She, like, saw the tail end of Ryan.
And so she wants to know what's going on with Ryan, and so she starts to, like, stalk the boys across the countryside.
Yeah.
Just keeping them in sight. And she's like trying to figure out how to approach them. I would argue that she does it in the worst way possible eventually.
Yeah, trying to steal Lan's weapon. I don't know. Here's the thing. She can easily, blow them over with a gust of wind. Mm-hmm. She could have just, approached Lan like a normal human being.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I feel like if she had just approached... Because she doesn't know if they're bandits or not, right? So I think that, approach cautiously. But I think approaching by sneaking up on him and grabbing his sword...
Bad idea.
And then she's like...
She's not as smart as she is in Eye of the World.
How dare he throw me in the water? And I'm like, you're lucky he didn't stab you in the throat. You grabbed his sword.
And she was so surprised she didn't have time to react to it. So she could have died.
Yeah.
She fucked up.
But if you walk up and Elman Dude says Moraine is grab a cop's gun crazy.
A little bit.
1,000%.
She's a spoiled noble.
She's like, I demand an apology for him throwing me in the lake. And I'm like, girl, you walked up behind him and grabbed his sword. What the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah.
Look, Aes Sedai can still get stabbed. You still have to, like, connect to, like, she should have just, like, grabbed him with the one power or some shit. I don't know. But, like, god damn, woman.
Burnt Hachiman, not that sword. Different sword. Different sword. James
Ross says, in Japan, if you touch a samurai sword, you are killed. Exactly.
Yeah, Moraine fucked around and found out. You know what I mean? She did come up on him from behind, but not in a fun way.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's hot but a psycho.
But thankfully, Lan is a good dude. And he sets up blankets for her to get naked behind. So that it's not indecent. Ryan is trying to check her out. And Moraine is like, I kind of want him to be trying to check me out. I enjoy that. And I was like, Moraine.
All right.
She's like, Ryan is handsome and charming, and I want him to want to see me naked. And I was like, oh.
But I don't want him to make it, like, known that he wants to see me naked.
I just want him to, I want him to sneak looks, but I don't want him to tell the boys that he's sneaking looks.
Or, like, be obvious about it. Yeah, I know.
The one that just made me check out. It was fun.
No, it is very funny. Like, Kyrian has such a weird, like, prudish upbringing, but, like, Moraine is
so horny.
Yeah.
Moraine is so horny.
Yeah, she's spicy.
Meanwhile, Swan also super horny, but Swan is like, no, dress like a slut. It's fun.
Dress like a slut. It's a good time.
Girl.
Yeah.
Girl, show them titties. You're so short. Everyone can see down your shirt anyway. Let the girls hang out. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong.
The one thing I will say, like,
Lan is like, she definitely doesn't have a child's body. I was like, oh my God.
She has a child's height, but not a child's body.
Yeah, I was like,
she's clearly an adult and just tall enough to suck my dick standing up. If you look at the Eye of the World art,
I know
she is 2 feet tall.
I know
she is so short.
Or Lan is like 8 feet tall. I don't know which one.
There is a point. There's a point in this book where I'm like, is this fucking Looney Tunes? The way that Robert Jordan describes Moraine's height constantly,
like, she has to be like 3'8". You know what I mean?
They describe her height so often that I got to the point where I was like, is this supposed to be a comedy book? Like, is this supposed to be hilarious?
Yeah.
Because it's not funny. Like, I don't think they're like well-written jokes, but there's a point where I'm like, does he think that just saying she's short 8,000 times is hilarious?
Is funny. Yeah.
Like, it gets to the point where I'm like, I'm surprised that she can fucking put her feet in the stirrups of her horse.
Yeah, how does she mount that thing by herself? Is she like really good at jumping? Like,
yeah.
I'm not that short, Fabu.
You are that short.
I'm really not.
You are very tiny. But yeah, no, it is. Man. I understand now why people are like, well, clearly Rosamund Pike is too tall to play Moraine, because in the books, Moraine is described as being like shorter than door handles. Moraine can still fit in like the like toddler like strap-in chair that they eat that has its own little
like
table.
On the swing set, she can get into the baby swing.
Yeah.
Oh,
to be honest, I'm not surprised Moraine has only had sex with women, because I feel like she's so small that any size penis would be too big for her.
Well, and she says Lan is way too tall for her. She's like, absolutely not.
She's like, no.
No. Fuck no. Like, wait, does she actually ride? No, Fabu, you haven't read the books. I was like, she rides a miniature pony.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I got confused for a minute. Yeah, they just mention it so many times that you're like, okay.
So I'm not saying that the individual lines are funny. I'm saying that by the like 85th time in this book she complains about being short, I'm like, I was starting to think, is it supposed to be funny? It isn't funny.
No,
none of them are jokes.
Yeah.
It is just... It is the, like, this book's version of Nynaeve tugging on her braid, but because there are so few other point of views, like, Nynaeve you get, like, every 4 chapters, but because almost every other chapter is Moraine being like, I walk into the room and notice that I'm short, and then I cast some magic over here, and oh my god, that woman is so tall, and then I go to eat, and I can't reach the middle of the table because my arms are so short that I can't eat the turkey leg, and so my servants have to pass it to me, and then my arms are so short that I can't get my buttons fixed, and like, there's a point in this book where I'm like, I fucking know she's short. I get it.
Yeah, I know. It is a little bit silly.
But
yes.
I kind of love it.
Yeah. Like, Moraine is short.
It started off as a good description of Moraine, and then I got sick of it. And then I started to like chuckle about how often it was happening. And then by the end of the book, I was like, I think he's Stockholm syndromed me into loving describing Maureen's height.
It's Robert Jordan's kink. He likes short women, but like he had it out for Moraine, you know.
Clearly.
Poor Moraine. Oh man.
Yeah. So the boys show up and they're like, "What happened?" And he's like, "I threw her in the lake." But she's like, "Look, I'm coming with. I claim the right of the single woman."
Yay.
And they're like, cool. And she's like, here's money. And they're like, fuck you. Well, we would have just taken you. But like, this is rude. And she's like, how is she supposed to know?
They don't tell her it's rude. They just get offended by it. And you're like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah. Also, the Trolloc logo. Do you have it here?
Yeah.
The Trolloc logo kind of looks like it's like raising the Black Power fist. And I kind of dig it.
I was like, wow,
like I like that the Trollocs like equal rights.
Yeah.
There are no Trollocs in this chapter. I just feel like the Trolloc is like equal rights, and I was like,
it's a very aggressive like header.
I know. I think it's the right hand in real life, but I found the fist of the Trolloc there. I never noticed it, but I was like,
well, it's just very aggressive, especially for a chapter called Breakfast in Manila. Like,
yeah.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, okay.
I think it's partially because it is it's Black History Month, and so I've just been like trying to like take in a lot of content by Black creators and like really, you know,
it's like in
put
the
my
brain.
time into that. It's in the brain, and so I think I saw the Trolloc fist in Black History Month. And I was like, all right, Trolloc.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're on the team.
We're on the
Breakfast
team.
at Nargs. I want that movie.
Breakfast at
Nargs. Smart.
Love it. You love to see it. Anyways.
So
gives
they
them a fake name.
Yeah, they leave together. Perry Wolf, thank you for that super chat. That's Nargs starting the revolution.
We love to see it. Alice. Lady Alice.
Yeah, Lady Alice. And Moraine is pretty turned on by Ryan flirting with her. It's fun.
Yeah, she's like, I like how this boy speaks to me.
Berserker says they probably think if Moraine knows enough about the customs to claim the right of a woman alone on the road, she should also know not to pay them. I think, though, that's an expectation that the right of woman alone is the same in every country. And I think that when you're dealing with someone from another country, I think that you need to be open-minded. And I feel like Lan and Bukama should have traveled enough to have this mindset of like, you have to be open-minded to their customs and not assume intent. I think it is okay to say like, I am uncomfortable accepting that money, but I think that it is wrong when you are dealing with people from other cultures to assume intent of their actions.
Insult. Yeah. Like she doesn't mean to, you know, she doesn't like mean to like upset them because she admits she doesn't know really anything about Malkier, and so she tries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she kind of fucks up, but she doesn't even know that she fucks up. And so they don't really tell her.
I just feel like Lan is well traveled enough to have experienced enough different customs to not be immediately offended, because I feel like that's I feel like that if you're going to get offended by that, then you shouldn't travel. Because people are just different.
People are different, yeah.
And if you can't accept that they're going to have different customs and different ways of being respectful. Like when I was in Japan, one of the things that we were told was like, we're there to sing and we're doing this huge show. They're not going to clap after every song. And
you didn't take offense to that.
You have to just be okay with it.
Yeah.
In America, if they don't clap at the end of the song, the people on stage go like, oh, was that not good?
Fucked up.
Oh, the reaction, they didn't like it. In Japan, if they don't clap at the end of the song, it's because they're not going to. They're going to clap at the end of the act. And they're not going to make a lot of noise during the show. And like that, it's like a customs difference. And if you go into that interaction and they don't clap at the end of the song and you just get mad at the audience, you have a bad show. And I think that this is the same thing of like being upset about the way someone from another country behaves because it's different than the way that your country behaves sets you up to be upset. And they have no bad intention towards you.
Yeah.
You're just making yourself up. You're choosing to be upset in that situation because of an expectation that isn't really realistic.
Yeah. I think that's a really good example.
Yeah, and so I just, that's just how I feel about Lan here. I'm like, Lan, you've traveled enough. You know people are fucking weird, different places. Don't be mad.
Yeah. I love that Lan is like, oh, if she's an Aes Sedai and a Kyrianan, there could be no worse combination. I'm like, oh, you just fucking wait. My guy. Yeah. So she, like, tries to, like, direct them. She's like, let's go get some hot food. And they're like, yeah, we were gonna...
We were actually gonna sleep in beds last night if it weren't for you stalking us, lady. But...
Yeah, they're like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever you say, I guess. Like...
So then Moraine starts looking for the Sahara Desert. Doesn't find it, but they keep on going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just keep going. They run into some bandits. They run into some storms. Moraine has a magic...
What?
I can only think of the French word. Parapluie.
Bless you.
Parapluie. The thing that you fucking use to block the rain.
An umbrella?
Thank God. Yeah, sorry. I only had the French word in my brain for a second there. I couldn't remember what it was in English.
Wow. Yeah.
What just happened in my head?
I don't know. I
totally forgot the English word for umbrella.
That was great.
Parapluie like popped in my head and I was like, that's not right. Wait a second.
I've
That's
never
not correct.
heard that fucking word before. I was very confused. No, parasol is for the sun.
Yeah,
but yes,
no.
Same kind of contraption.
Holy fuck, I cannot believe that just happened.
That was incredible. Somebody
Moraine has a magic umbrella. It's very cool, and I like it a lot. I want it because one thing I don't like about umbrellas is the noise. I find the noise of water hitting umbrellas to be annoying.
Really? I love it. I love the sound of rain.
Oh, I like the sound of rain. I don't like when you're holding an umbrella and you can't hear the person you're talking to because you just have...
I love that it drowns out my inner monologue. It feels very nice.
That is the most ADHD shit you've ever said.
I like umbrellas a lot.
I like umbrellas in the rain because my neurodivergence is hidden even from me.
I mean, it's suppressed, I guess, momentarily. I just focus on, like, the pattern of the sounds in my head. Especially if you get the, like, dome umbrellas and it's, like, loud. It's very nice. I like it. I like it a lot. So,
Lan brings up all the weird shit that Moraine's doing to him. Like putting ants in his panties.
Yeah.
Moraine, that's fucking weird.
And later she's like, are you allergic to wasps?
And he's like, oh God.
He's like, what the fuck? He's like, where did she find fleas this time of year? Like,
yeah, also
Moraine is so fucking
covering
petty.
him in sand while he's sleeping so that he has to ride Sandy the next day. This is like so fucking strange.
It's some next level petty shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's why I like listening to rain sounds to fall asleep. Like when I go to bed before you do, so you probably notice that
I turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, you turn it off.
It's because it's especially recorded rain sounds. I become obsessed with where the loop is.
Yeah,
because it's never a 10-hour recording. It's always 1 minute that loops.
Yeah.
And so
you try to find the loop.
And once I find it, every time it's coming up,
you focus on it.
Yeah, it's because like my brain is so rhythmic.
Yeah.
Like I think in rhythm. And so for me, recordings like that, like white noise, I try and find the like musical count of the white noise.
Yeah.
And it becomes really hard for me because I'll be lying there and it's like, and I'm thinking, loop. And I can like hear the loop of it. And so I can't sleep because it literally is so distracting.
The worst is when the loop is not in like a musical beat.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
when
random.
It's so off. Yeah.
You're like, what is this like 7-Eleven time signature?
Yeah, I hate it.
Michael Kioski, thank you for that super chat.
Where did Moraine find fleas this time of year? The flea market, obviously. Fuck you.
Got him.
Oh my God. Did you just dad joke the podcast?
In this economy? Jesus Christ. He's gonna commit to that for a few minutes. So I think he went downstairs. Anyways, Rin is flirting. Very, very flirty. Thank you guys. I'm here almost every Friday. You're welcome. Come back next week. We're gonna be starting, what did Monkey call it? Monkey had a good word for it. You know, the sword of cobblestones. Anyways, thank you. I don't know if he's ever coming back. How do we convince him to get back here? No, his coffee's empty. It's like it's gonna be like, I have the coffee. And he'll come back eventually. Anyways, Lan is they're talking about Trollocs. They're talking about Trollocs, right? Promise boobies, boobies. I promise boobies if you return. Let's see if that works. I don't know if he heard me. So they're talking about Trollocs. And Moraine kind of like chimes in about it. Like she's like, I can't imagine you guys just fighting Trollocs with like only a sword. Like you guys must be like really fucking brave. And Len is like, I'm sorry, you have fought Trollocs? Excuse me? And she's like, yes. You'll find shadow spawn in many places, my young Padawan. I was like, okay. I mean, we know she fought Trollocs in the Terangrial, but I promise boobies if you come back. We'll see. We'll see if that works. So they head into the city. The Plowman's Blade, which I think is my favorite name of an inn so far. So they go to the Plowman's Blade, and what happens? She like calls them her like retainers. And Bukama's like, he's so salty about it. You got yourself some water. It's like, what's taking so long? I promised boobies.
What?
I promised boobies.
To who?
To you if you came back.
I was not listening. Well, I needed a break from you after that one.
Is every time I make that joke just going to make it a longer and longer break?
I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that joke.
James Ross!
The break might be divorce. James Ross, Nerdy came back.
Thank you.
Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything.
Oh my god.
My god.
So they get to the inn, and
Nerdy, come back.
Bukama is definitely offended by being referred to as a retainer. But
a divorce in this economy.
Wow, Dakuna, well done. I approve.
I hate this so much.
I approve. So anyways.
I was hoping you guys would be over the jokes by the time I got back, but no.
No. As soon as you come back, they start up again. We got to the Plowman's Blade, which is my favorite inn name so far.
You talked about, the Plowman's Blade?
Yeah, that's the inn that they go into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was a chapter name. I was like, I don't know what chapter that is.
That's the name of the inn.
Ha!
Did not know Randland had orthodontists. Yeah, apparently they have retainers. Everyone has, like, perfect teeth, you know? Invisalign is a booming business in Randland. But yeah, the boys sit there and they hang out, and then they realize that Moraine snuck away.
And Lan is like,
fuck?
Whoa. Also, they're at the point where they're like, she's not really an Aes Sedai, though, right? She's lying about that. Even though she's constantly using the one power and has an Aes Sedai ring.
Yeah.
But Lan is like, she's too emotional to be an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, she's
These women, right?
She's really bad at hiding her feelings. So she goes, she's like, I want to get she wants to find who is the one she's trying to find in here.
The Sahara Desert.
The Sahara Desert. Yeah. And Lan eavesdrops.
Mm-hmm.
And Lan is like, how the fuck did you hear me?
Yeah.
He's like actually impressed.
Yeah. And we know jewelry.
I don't know if it's that yet.
Yeah, it's the stones on her forehead.
No, I think when she holds the one power, she's like more aware, but it doesn't talk about Like, I don't think she has that weave in her headpiece yet.
I do.
I could be wrong, but she
brings up even like in the when she's in the White Tower, she brings up that she learned how to do that as a kid.
The weave.
And so I think that she always has that. I don't think that that's something that like I think that's like her like thing that she holds on to.
Oh, you think that it's already there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I assumed she like put it on the object later on, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed that.
I think she's constantly using it, and I think that's how she hears Lan here. Because otherwise, I don't really know how she would.
Yeah. No, maybe.
I assumed it was that reading this scene, but maybe it's something else.
No,
but...
I think that's fair. It doesn't say explicitly, but yeah, she knows how to eavesdrop.
Yeah, and she has this like ability to like listen. I feel like
She's
it allows
fitting for Kyrian.
Yeah.
Kyrianin.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. So then they leave town because they don't find the Sahara Desert yet, and they go out on the road. And in the middle of the road, Lan gets shot with an arrow through his body.
Well, I think that's when. Is that when she asks him? I don't know. He turns for some reason. Because she says something to him.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So she like makes a comment, and he turns on it, and that saves his life.
Yeah, that was it.
Very lucky.
Yeah, this is where we learn about all the pranks.
This is where I start to be like, is Lan Ta'Viren? It's not brought up that he is, but this book weirdly drops luck things like what the other Ta'Viren boys experience.
Yeah.
Particularly around Lan. And it is strange to me that he can survive the blight like no one else, right?
Yeah.
Like, he just weirdly is... there's a lot of this book where I'm like, is Lan Ta'Viren?
Honestly, maybe. Like,
It's just interesting to me that, like, this book has so much luck and, like, him being twisted into the pattern in this way.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, Moraine shows off her skill in the power.
Yeah.
They get, what is it, like 20 people in front, 20 people behind. There's like 40 fucking bandits. And Moraine is like, nah, not in my house.
Yeah. She pulls the Gandalf from when he gets into the Rohan, the keep at Rohan, and he uses the magic to make his voice like huge.
Yeah.
And I like this scene a lot. It was cool. And then I especially like when they like run away and Moraine is like, what? Why are we letting them leave? I can kill them all. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's like, we should hunt them down and just fucking slaughter them all. Because they're probably attacking and like hurting other people as well. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah, Sir Jim Ross, I agree with Nicholas Reed here. Swan can see Ta'Viren, but I don't think Swan and Lan ever meet.
Yeah, no, they don't.
We've never seen them meet. Oh no, they do. Yeah, they do. In the beginning of the Great Hunt, when Swan goes to, well, actually, we don't really see we don't see them meet, but she must meet Lan at some point, right?
Maybe.
But they don't meet in this book. They never encounter each other.
No, not in this book.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and then we find out that Canedrin, which is weirdly like Kainarin. The name of the assassin here is weirdly similar to the word used to describe the first lovers in Malkyr. And I was like, it's very strange. The words look the same to me. I know they're not the same. But the words looked very similar to me, and I was like, wait. Because his name is Canedrin, and it's like Kainarin is what... Kainaran or whatever is what he calls Adderall. They were just very similar words for my brain.
Yes. Yeah. I want to see.
What are you looking for?
Just trying to look at the name because I like.
It's that. Canedrin.
Oh, no, it is very similar. For some reason I thought it was a K in my head, but it's not.
Yep.
Well, just because, it's C and K can basically, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, Moraine tries to, like, heal the guy so that they can figure out some answers for him, but he's
already dead. So she heals Lan instead, and she cleans up some of his scars.
Yeah, she, like, also, like, searches the body, and Lan is like, what, are you gonna, like, steal from the dead? She's like, no, fuck, I'm
fucking
like,
trying
looking...
to get clues. What?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Have you not seen Scooby-Doo, Lan Mandragoran?
Do you not know how much money I have? Like...
I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah.
No, I'm making sure he doesn't have, like, letter on him or something.
Yeah.
Because they're Gorthanes. Remember Gorthanes, the assassin from the first half of the book, who doesn't come back?
Doesn't come back. Not important.
That was one thing about the second half of the book that I didn't love. Like, just make this Gorthanes. Why introduce this assassin character in the first half of the book?
Because it's going after Lan, not Moraine.
No. He says, like, kill the woman first.
No, he was told to kill the woman first.
Yes.
But that they're there for completely different reasons, right?
What do you mean?
Gorthanes is there because Moraine is a Damodred. This guy is here because of Lan, to try to kill Lan. But he was told that Moraine is dangerous. It has nothing to do with that other assassin. They're two different assassins for two different reasons.
But then why does Gorthanes not come back? Like, but I'm saying, like, why do that? Just make that assassin so that there's closure on that. Like, it is really strange to me that this first half of this book ends with her being like, oh, that assassin's probably going to chase me, and that assassin never comes back in this novel.
That I do agree.
I just think
strange.
This should have just been that guy.
So they're there for different reasons, though.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this should have been that guy so that narratively that storyline is tied up in a bow. I understand that they're there for different reasons, but they don't have to be there for different reasons. This could have just been that assassin.
But then there would have had to have been another assassination attempt to set up that they're trying to kill Lan.
Why? The 6 guys in the field tried to do it already. In the alleyway did it already. We've already been set up that someone's trying to kill Lan.
Yeah, but it's like rule of 3, right? It happens to him 3 times. The sword fight, the arrow, and then the power knocking him down the stairs.
Okay, but that still leaves this weird dangling thread of the assassin in Tarvalon who just never comes back.
No, I agree. I think it is weird that does not come back.
It is strange. It's one of those. It is one of those things where, like, I think the first half of this book does a bad job foreshadowing what the second half of this book is about, because there's just this random assassin who's not relevant. Like, and honestly, Moraine. The White Tower wanting Moraine to be the queen of Cairhien never really comes back. It isn't, like, relevant to the second half of the book almost at all.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Other than it being the reason she ran away from the White Tower, like, she runs into all these Aes Sedai, like, she's worried about it, but it's never relevant to the rest of this book, and it isn't relevant to the future books. It's just, like, a thing that was, like, a setup that there's no payoff to it.
Yeah.
It's a setup that doesn't...
Yeah, no, I do agree that it is...
Alec, I would love if Gorthanes is, like, a final boss for Moraine. Like, he's like, I've been hunting you for 30 years, and it's time we fight. And she just, like, cuts off his head with the power. Like...
That would be fun, actually.
I would love that. It would be so funny if they're like, who is this Gorthanes guy who is suddenly really important in book 12? It's like, oh, in the prequel. He followed Moraine around Tarvalon for, like, 2 days, 26 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much that chapter, I think. Chapter 22 is keeping custom.
Do you think Lan... Oh, before we move on, do you think Lan was pissed that some of his scars are a little less scarry? You know how guys like their scars? He's like, no, just heal the wound. I want to keep my... I don't want little pink lines. I want my deep scars.
Yeah, no, probably. Yeah.
Chapter 22, keeping custom. We make it to Kandor. We're in Chachin. Chaching. Moraine does run into, she ran into the Sahara Desert. Did you do that while I was out of the room because of your joke?
Oh.
She did run into her, and it's not her.
It's not her. Don't worry about it.
But we know that part of the problem with the second half of this book, for me, is that we know she's not going to be successful.
Yeah.
And so I kind of...
the book isn't about...
I wish there was a little bit... I wish that they'd managed to add a little bit of something else in this. But there is the undercurrent of what her goal is like, she doesn't succeed.
Girl, it's gonna be a while. You better sit tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scungy says there were supposed to be 2 more prequel books after New Spring.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Robert
So
Jordan did
Gorthanes
not.
was probably supposed to come back, but didn't. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what the plot of that is. We're not doing a recap of this, Corinne. I'm hoping that our mods will be able to tell us by the end of book club today what chapters we're reading next week.
Yeah. We'll share the breakdowns.
And we'll have the full schedule
today.
but yeah, next week we're starting Knife of Dreams.
Knife of Dreams.
So then they make it to Chachin and they split up. Moraine goes her way. And Lan...
Knife of Dreams. That's it. I was like, no, it's Path of Daggers. No, we
read Path
so
of Daggers
much further
4 months
along.
ago.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So, as soon as they get in the first gate, which isn't technically Chachin, but is technically Chachin enough for Lan, he's like, I don't want your money. We're fucking done here.
Get out of my sight.
And Moraine kind of goes about it. She goes off and does her thing.
Yeah.
Lan rides up to the Aishdashar Palace, which is described as being the coolest fucking thing. I hope they go here in the show somehow, because this palace sounds fucking rad.
Yeah, the architecture, design, whatever the hell you want to call it.
The entire mountaintop is a palace.
So fucking cool.
And the mountain is so tall that like you can feel the altitude. I was like, this is fucking...
It's the altitude, don't worry about it.
This fucking rocks.
Yeah, it was rad.
This whole chapter, everything they describe in this chapter, other than Adane and Lan's very strange relationship, fucking rocks. And even that it's interesting and well written, but it's a little uncomfy.
It's pretty uncomfy. Yeah, it's really fucked up. But it is, yes, it's well written. I agree.
So Lan gets rooms. Ryan and Bukama get like private rooms, which is nice. It's kind of like when you're on a cruise ship working. They don't get like the worst rooms where they have to share with other people. They get private rooms, but it's a small bed. There's not a lot to do in there. And Lan, being a king, but not a king, he gets like a fucking like 3-room apartment, super cute.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he gets people to work for him, which I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. If you don't like bring your own people,
you get servants.
But you would need someone, and I like that like this castle is so complicated that Lan actually needs someone to show him around.
Yeah. He's like, no fucking way.
Yeah, like if I was always like, oh, and like a noble would bring their own people, but like you would need someone who knows the kitchen.
Yep.
You can't just like have your staff be like, I'm gonna go find you food, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was I like this little detail that he throws in here, and the way that Robert Jordan plays with who Lan's like assigned servants are working for, like all of the like interplay of the upstairs downstairs of this sequence was actually I found it really fun, and I liked the details that he threw in here.
Yeah,
it made this palace feel very alive to me.
Yes, alive, complicated, and dangerous.
Yeah,
you know. Lan is like, oh no, my like servants are already working for Eden, so why does it matter?
And so Dane finds out that he's there and is immediately like, come to me, sweetling, come to me now. And Lan's like, girl, no, I'm good. Instead, he goes to see the prince. Yeah, Prince Bris, who's actually the king, but they call him the prince
because the queen because he's the
queen's sex partner.
He's not the king. He's like the consort, I guess.
But they call him the prince.
Yes.
Even though his son is the prince. I found that a little bit complicated.
A little bit confusing to me, not gonna lie.
Because I was like, oh, it must be her son. And then it was like, no, like her husband.
I don't know the royal family, so that does not help me.
I like you guys are like Prince Philip, as if that means that. Who's Prince Philip?
The one from Sleeping Beauty. Okay. It's Philip and Aurora. That's definitely what they're talking about.
Like it's like when Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, her husband. Oh, her husband's name was Philip?
Probably. That sounds correct.
I thought her husband's name was Arthur.
No, I know it's not that.
Huh, interesting.
And yeah, I don't, guys, it's confusing to me. I don't follow the royal family.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that they've called him Prince.
Prince Consort, cool. Yeah, because I guess he marries... Sure. Yeah. Because Atheniel is
All
the
right,
one that's, like,
sure.
in charge, so they don't want to, like, put him above her, like, station, I guess, is... Cool.
The word prince to me sounds like son, and so it's like...
Yeah,
weird.
right. It sounds like they're younger. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I actually don't care at all about royalty. I think it's fun in a bygone era. I think modern royalty is very silly. But that's just me.
Yep.
And a lot of other people. So he goes to see Prince Bris, which I laughed every time, unfortunately. I just don't think that you should name a character Bris.
Maybe it's Bryce.
Yeah, but do you know what a bris is?
No.
It is the Jewish tradition of when it is what the procedure's called when you snip when you circumcise a baby. That is a bris.
Oh.
I think it's spelt like this too. Check mod chat, nerdy.
Oh, do we have the breakdown? Thank you, Monkey.
Thank you, Monkey.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Isn't the Jewish bris spelt B-R-Y-S?
I genuinely have no idea.
It might not be.
B-R-I-S, maybe? Yeah, okay.
Bris.
I mean,
yeah,
it's close enough.
And so when he spelt it B-R-Y-S, I was giggling because I was like, did he name this? And then this guy does... The head is cut off of this royal family.
Wow.
At the end of the book.
Wow.
And so the entire time, every time his name came up, I was like, did Robert Jordan name this character after Jewish circumcisions?
Yeah, no, I thought it was like Bryce, but...
And look, it probably is Bryce, but I think it's because there's no E at the end, it just, every time I read it, I was like...
Yeah. No. That is fair.
Is he circumcised? Probably.
It
was just a name that made me giggle, and I don't know how many Jewish people there are in South Carolina, so like I don't know that, like, it just might be something Robert Jordan was not aware of.
Yeah.
But being as like familiar with it as I am, and it just made me laugh.
Yeah.
Every time when they're like, "This is Prince Bris," and I was like,
tee hee.
Yeah.
I also kind of hate that the, like, head servant, the, like, most important, like, person is the Chachin, which just sounds like Shaitan to me.
Oh, yeah, the Shaitan?
The Shaitan. I was like, Shaitan!
Oh, Shaitan.
Shaitan? I don't.
Yeah, it was a little Satan.
Very close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I noticed that as well. I thought it was Shaitan. I did not realize that I was just being dyslexic for half a book. And so they go to meet the prince. There's a bunch of people there wearing their Hidori, but Lan is like, they haven't worn it in a long time, these fuckers.
I can tell.
And
I walk to school uphill both ways.
I keep calling Lan Rand. Lan actually has like a really like sweet moment with Bris's son.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, Lan has some fucking like...
He's got game.
Lan is hard.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Because he fucks. But Lan is like, he's a hard man. And it was nice to have this moment where he reveals that he does not want that for this kid.
Yeah.
Like there are those hard characters who think that everyone needs to be hard because the world is cruel and everyone needs to be so tough to survive.
When I was 8 years old, I was fighting Trollocs with my bare hands. But he's like, no, that, I don't want that for him. He shouldn't have to grow up that way.
100% that. And I loved this beat for Lan so much because this is why I love Lan as a character.
Yeah.
And this beat just opens that up even more, right? Like deep down, he has to be this hard and he has to be this tough and he has to fight this fight.
Yeah.
But he's doing it so that kid doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And obviously that kid dies, and it's very sad.
It's very sad.
But Lan has
Spoilers.
Lan. God, fuck Lan and Rand. It's so hard. Lan having this moment to me is my favorite part of this whole book. I'm sorry to spoil Hilo, but like it just was so in a series that can at some times be a little bit cynical. And because of the scope of the story that the main series is in the middle of, everything is so important that there aren't these little moments. Getting just this like really human connection between two characters here was so wonderful. I really, really, really loved it. Yeah. And it was this great moment for a character who I really adore, getting to really shine, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was such a good moment, and it means a lot more to Rand and Lan's relationship in the main series. I think it was well done. But then fucking Eden goes and fucks
Adderall!
I
pledge myself to you, Lan Mandragoran. We're gonna go fight the Blight. And he's like, oh, fuck,
like,
let's go have sex.
Damn it.
All right, Eden. Adderall, whatever the fuck your name is. Let's go fuck.
Yep. Yeah, poor Lan. First of all, Bryce is like, I'm sorry, I did not know that was gonna happen.
Yeah. And Bryce is a good dude. He's like, do you want me to
sorry.
kick her out? And Lan is like, no, it gets so much worse if you kick her out.
Yeah.
I'll go talk to her.
I will tell her to fucking leave.
And they go up to the private balcony. That's not important later.
Definitely not at all important. Yep.
And so Lan goes to her, and she pulls out his hair that she cut when he was 15.
That she, like, has rubbed in oil every day. Like,
well, yeah, otherwise it'd be dry and awful, right? And so she makes him pick it up, and then she has more power over him until she takes it from him.
Well, yeah, because he literally has to do everything that she's. It's so fucking gross. Eden is literally the definition of, like, a fucking groomer. She, like, flirts with him as a child. Yeah. They sleep together, and, like, now she has, like, this literal cultural power over him that, he could be like, fuck you. But, like, Malkiri means so much to him. My face. I know. It's
that one piece is just peeling across.
Like, you can see it. It's like falling off of my face.
Samantha, I agree. The whole system is grooming. And I don't like it.
It's so fucked up. And, like, it's definitely, I don't like it. Not a fan.
Orchid Eater, I'm going to be honest with you. I know that people save locks of hair. It's always weird.
I think, like, if you save teeth and, like, hair.
Can I tell you the weirdest hair experience I ever had?
Oh, God, sure.
I was having dinner at a friend of my parents' house. And they had a kid who I was friends with. And I went to the bathroom. And I sat down, and across from the toilet was a frame that had locks of hair from, like, I think it was, like, every year, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 of my friend's life, up until, like, 13. And it was, like, framed, and, like, there was, like, a photo of them in the middle, and then it was, like, the hair, like, around it. And it was, like, their locks of hair framed and put in, not even in, like, a private bathroom, like, in the guest bathroom, so that anyone who sat down on that toilet had to look at the, like, 13 years of hair framed on the wall. It was, I, like, didn't know how to leave the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, after seeing it, I was like, I don't know how I go back to dinner and look at a person who I wasn't close with, but was a friend, in the eye, and not go, I saw your whole life.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It was so strange.
That's pretty weird. Yeah. There's some satanic stuff going on around there. They're, like, saving that for I don't know.
Yeah, it was
ritual. It's not, I don't know, saving, all of it. Teeth, hair, it's all very strange to me. The foreskin, saving that is very strange to me.
Yeah.
The umbilical cord.
Wait, saving the foreskin?
Foreskin, yeah, umbilical cord, all very weird to me. I
thought people ate the umbilical cord.
Some cultures have done that.
No,
not the umbilical cord, sorry, the placenta. Eating the placenta is like a thing.
Right. I heard there's a company that takes your placenta and turns it into pills. And so you, like, eat the placenta as pills because there's, like, nutrients in it or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. All of that is very weird to me.
Well, that's our show. Everyone left, so we'll just end it there. No, I'm kidding. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Humans are weird.
Yeah. Humans are weird.
We cut back to Moraine.
Anyways.
Lan is like, oh, if she's gonna be like this, I'm gonna go fuck the shit out of her.
Yeah, basically. He's like, I have no choice in the matter, so I might as well just break her back.
Deadsy! Bad Deadsy.
Ew, gross.
Y'all are making me hungry.
Thank you for the super chat.
That is insane that you just wrote that. That is truly insane that you just wrote that.
Oh, and she's like, oh, you're going to marry my daughter. Let's
we
fuck.
skipped over that. Yeah, Estelle.
Let's fuck. We're
Yeah.
gonna marry my daughter, but we're gonna have
I'm gonna
sex
fuck you, and
for
then
the
I'm gonna
next
marry you to my child.
3 days. Like, he's not allowed to leave his room because the fucking thing is on the... Anyways, it's all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah. So we come back to Moraine. Moraine is looking for Swan in the poor parts of the city because she knows that Swan won't spend her money on a nice bed.
Spend money, yeah.
Which is hilarious.
She pops into a few places and is like, nope, they have no idea what I'm looking for. And then she pops into this one place that's like,
well,
shady...
before we get to that, because I don't want to talk about that, but I do actually really like she's because they're so low status inns, they don't have a place for her to put her horse. And so when we were talking about, what was the thing with the horse recently that we were watching?
The thing with the horse?
Yes. We were watching a movie or a show with a horse.
Attack on Titan has horses?
No, and they put the reins on the tree, and you were like, would the horse stay?
Oh, that was Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, you can honestly just drop the horse reins. If you drop them straight down, a well-trained horse knows to just stay. And then that came up in this, and like,
okay.
like the day after we were watching Last of Us, this chapter, he's like, yeah, if you just leave the horse reins, a well-trained horse will stay. And I was like, I was fucking right in the Last of Us reaction.
Much about horses. It's fine.
I should be right. I rode horses growing up, but
yeah, I've only done it like 3 times, maybe.
And the horse has to be well trained. But I like this. I like the storytelling around her using this ward to like defend her horse.
Yeah,
and,
it's like a little like alarm bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just fun. I liked the like progression of her working her way through the poor parts of town. With everyone being like, you're in danger. And she's like, no, I am the danger.
I am the danger. Because Lan is like, yeah, stay out of the shady parts. No, I'm going to fucking go into all the shady parts.
No, she's like,
fuck you.
No, that's not what she's like, I have to go. Unfortunately, I have to. She doesn't want to be there. She's like, I have to go to the shady parts because that's where Swan will be.
Except Swan's not in the shady parts, so like.
But even Swan is like, I knew you would look for me here. Swan shows up and is like, I thought you might be looking for me here because I am... gutter rat.
I don't know. Moraine is petty as fuck.
Swan and I would not get along. I'd be like, no, Swan, we're getting a nice hotel room. I do not want to fucking deal with fucking, like, I've stayed in a Super 8 exactly one time, and I will never do it again.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust those sheets.
No.
I will pay a little bit more to feel like they probably actually do laundry.
Yeah. That's fair. Anyways, Moraine comes across an inn in the shady parts of town that's like not super shady. It's really nice inside. The innkeeper's like really hot and
she's
friendly.
Like, she's sexy, wearing silk.
Yeah, Moraine is like, have you seen a Tyrion with blue eyes? And she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I think I have. Here, have some wine. And Moraine is like, no, you have some wine.
Does she use compulsion here?
I think.
Is the banned use of compulsion a blue secret that they teach them like day one?
It makes sense for like the spy Ajah.
Yeah, but I was like, oh shit, Moraine. Yeah. And then she leaves that woman to be
raped and murdered.
Well, we don't know that she was raped or murdered. We just know they just beat her up.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I don't look. The woman's a human trafficker. I don't have
a lot of
her.
sympathy. Yeah. Like you are a terrible person. You like steal pretty women and sell them. She's literally a human trafficker. It's a fear-inducing weave, but she drank the thing.
But she forces her to drink it. I don't know. I don't understand how.
Yeah, she scares her. But
that would
I thought
involve
it was
anxiety.
I thought it was like a compulsion thing to make her drink it. It's inflaming her emotions to manipulate them. Okay.
That's compulsion.
You
can say that isn't compelling someone, but making someone magically so scared of you that they do what you say is still compulsion. It's
weird.
Like that is threading. That gets to the problem with the 3 oaths of like, I didn't technically use it as a weapon. I just
not a weapon.
Pushed the boulder down the hill with the 1 power. I didn't know it was gonna squish the man. You know what I mean? Like you're starting to draw like real thin lines.
So a compulsion with extra steps. Yeah, it's the ends is like the same, but it's not the band weave that compulsion is. So
it's like in Harry Potter. Sorry to bring it up. I bring up Harry Potter a lot, but it's just an easy.
It's a cultural touchstone.
One of the things I find so like hilarious about Harry Potter is that Avada Kedavra is this like super evil curse.
Yeah.
Because it kills instantly without pain. But if you burn someone alive with Incendio, that is less illegal.
Incendio!
Like, I would think that the Avada Kedavra curse would be, like, the most used curse in, like, certain hospital situations. Or, you know what I mean? Like, no, but, like, that would be...
No, the problem
if
with
as a
Avada
government,
Kedavra is that you have to mean it. So that would never work in a hospital unless you had a psychopathic doctor who wanted to kill you.
No, because I could mean it. I could want them to die to be out of pain. Right? But this is my point. But like the idea that using this one spell that is quick and painless is more illegal than burning someone alive by shooting fire out of your wand, a spell that they teach to like 12-year-olds, is fucking insane to me.
You have a point there. Yes.
Like I'm just like, I don't know, that doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use it often. I'm just saying occasionally you might need it, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'd prefer a healing spell. Well, obviously. I'm saying, like, if you're terminal and in pain for the rest of your life, I'm like,
you know what, just finish it. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that, like, even
spells don't kill people, people kill people. Oh, fuck, am I arguing for the Second Amendment now?
Oh, no.
God damn it.
No, don't do that.
Wait a second.
Reducto. Yeah, you can literally turn someone into a pile of dust.
Yeah, no. Avada Kevorkian is the merciful variant used in hospitals. Silly porn. First of all, your name's great. But that is fucking brilliant. If you just came up with that off the top of your head in this moment, Avada Kevorkian, that is fucking hilarious. That is well done.
Yeah. Desidec, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. It's like suggestion as opposed to mind control. Also, first time making the live chat. Welcome on in. Yeah, it's basically the same, a slightly different means to the same end. But I was like, oh shit, this is like compulsion.
Anyway, let's move on. So she leaves the human trafficker to consequences.
To consequences that are not specified.
I don't feel so bad about it. Like, maybe I should, but I don't.
And
Moraine is like, I don't feel bad about it. I wanted to do it 3 more times, but that would have been suspicious.
I know. And honestly, I was like, fuck. Like, I think, like, if I was nice to die and I had the means to, like, bring justice to, like, shooting people, I don't know what I would do any different than Moraine did.
The problem is that it violates the 3 oaths.
Well, no, it's not a weapon.
She uses the one power to force
to incapacitate them. Incapacitate, not weapon. Incapacitate.
Incapacitate.
There you go.
I got there.
Yeah. We got there.
The woman, and then leaves her to be, like, attacked by people. Like, how is that not using the one power as a weapon?
She doesn't do the attacking. She's not hurting her.
This is where the splitting her... This is why the 3 oaths are garbage.
Bonkers.
Garbage.
I know.
Oh, no. I just knocked her out so that she could be attacked by multiple other people in an incapacitated state.
Don't be suspicious. Yeah, that's Moraine in this.
But I like Moraine here. If you traffic women... I have no sympathy for you. Like, you're not going to catch me being like, oh no, the human trafficker? Oh, I'm so sad.
It's like Shimon says, she made her drink a beverage. It's not her fault that it was roofied. Right? She didn't know. She was suspicious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no sympathy.
And if it had just been wine, there would have been no consequences.
Exactly. It's her own fault.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair.
It is her own fault.
That's fair.
So that she does finally find Swan.
Well, Swan finds her.
Well, yes. They meet.
But there's a problem, because they're there to see Innis Domain, and Innis Domain's husband's dead, so she's in mourning for a month.
Yeah,
and
so they're not going to be able to...
They need to come up with a plan. First, they go to a bank, they get some money out, they go to a dressmaker, and Moraine is like, make me ship fast, or else I'm going to pay you less.
Yeah.
Which it's not really how haggling works, unless you're massively overpaying.
She is, and she says she is massively overpaying. Like, that woman is like, oh my god, gold.
Yeah, I know, but like, if you threaten me, look, I'm not gonna lie. If you threaten me like that, I'm gonna like leave some loose stitches in there. Like, those clothes are gonna fall apart on you in
Not
like an
if
embarrassing
she's
moment.
Paying like 10 times market price.
I thought she was only paying double.
No, so here's the thing. She says that the gown costs like a gown costs 10 gold in Tarvalon. But like 95% of that is the sewing cost is so high in Tarvalon that here it's absolutely nothing. The silk costs the same amount, but a silk dress probably costs like a gold maybe? Like,
you read that differently than I did, and your interpretation makes way more sense than mine did.
Oh.
I did not understand that sentence very well, and you putting it in context like that,
yes,
I get it now.
The silk is the same price. It is the cost of labor.
The cost of labor is so much
highly
cheaper.
Inflated
and so by paying the same price, okay, never mind. I take it back.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Silly Palm, thank you for the super chat.
God's new conflict of next gen wizarding books. A new forbidden curse. Kerma Gosnellian erases unborn children.
Oh my god. Just balefire it, you know?
Wait, could you balefire the baby to the point where you never had the sex in the first place?
So you could, like, be a virgin again?
I want to balefire my hymen back into place.
Oh my god, I hate that idea so much.
It's a localized balefire just inside of the vagina. just to return the hymen.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay, we're gonna not spend time on that.
Do you know Hyman? The actor in Calgary? Did you ever meet Hyman?
No.
There's an incredible like community actor in Calgary named Hyman who did a lot of like front row center and stuff.
No, I did not.
And unfortunately, the first time I met him, I was 12, and I was like,
you're such an asshole. Wow. Wowie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dakuna, would you say that the rent in Tarvalon is too damn high?
It's like Toronto rent. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wait, if you don't live in New York, you wouldn't know what that means. That's a shame. It's a very local joke. There's a guy who ran in New York City for like city council, and his whole thing was the rent is too damn high.
The thing is,
and he like
kind
of went viral for it. It was very funny.
Yeah. I have heard that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, she's
this
like...
is such a weird
podcast. I know.
We've revealed so much weird personal shit
we
today.
Are moving on. Yeah, Selena's like, I'm really busy because the King of Malkier is here. And Moraine is like, do you think I'm a fucking idiot? The king died 25 years ago. Like, get fucked. Like... So she orders the coins and is like, I need them done immediately. And Selena's like, impossible. And then Moraine gives money and she's like, just kidding.
Totally possible.
She has them in like 2 days.
So they go up to Ayas Daishar. And they pretend that this was tough for me. So they call Swan Suki.
Suki, yeah.
And guys, I really like the television show True Blood. But I cannot see Suki without hearing what's his face, Steven, whatever his name is, going, Suki. And so every single time it comes up, this book was a lot of that with Bris. Like there was a lot of name stuff in this book that just made me giggle.
Yeah.
I just was thinking about True Blood of him being like, Suki.
Nerdy is sitting there and he's like...
Literally. Guys, I like New Spring a lot. I had a lot of fun reading this book. This was one of the most like enjoyable reading moments for the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
It's such an easy read book, and the story is good, and the characters are interesting, but like there were a couple of moments I was like, I'm just giggling, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I was really back to like, oh, I'm having fun with the Wheel of Time again for the first time in a while, and it was so nice. I don't know why people said to skip this.
I don't know either.
I know people are like, don't worry about New Spring. I'm like, no, New Spring's fucking great.
James
I would have read it earlier, but...
Yeah, well, we didn't know.
James Smith, thank you for that super chat.
Super chat, we appreciate it.
Good to have book club back. Yes, it is. I'm so excited to start Knife of Dreams next week.
Very, very, very excited, yes.
Just saying hi from work. My love to the mods. Love to the mods. Suki.
Guys, we love the mods. Josh, welcome back to the nerd table.
Right there with you on the Vampire Bill pronunciation. Yeah, every time.
Way behind on stream, just heard you shove.
He'll fire my hymen. I'd get that shirt for someone.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, Sindoshe? Not
Schenectady?
I'm sorry, what? Sindoshe? Is that how you say that name?
Schenectady.
No, the The first one.
I think that they've I think they're saying Synecdoche, but it's Schenectady.
What?
Yeah, Schenectady, New York.
I don't know what that is, but thank you for coming back to the nerd table.
Turbox says we want the first paragraph of epilogue of Knife of Dreams before you call it a day. We're not going to read the epilogue of Knife of Dreams.
You mean the?
Do you mean the prologue?
Prologue? Turbox, welcome back to the nerd table for a full year. Yeah, we're not going to read the end, but we might read the beginning.
read the epilogue of Knife of Dreams before you leave here today. No,
you know what? We
will not do that.
You know what I used to do with books? I used to read the very last word, and then start the book.
I love if it was just penis. You're like, whoa,
penis.
Why? Why the last word?
Oh my god, I don't know. It was like, what can I deduce from this? And usually, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because the last word is usually like the end.
Alec, welcome back to the nerd table.
Might as well add a message since we're getting a train. Let's train it up.
Hype train. Let's fucking go. I gotta pee really bad, so you keep going.
Please read the first letter of each page.
And make a sentence out of it.
So, chapter 25 is an answer. Moraine goes to see Prince Bris. Did you guys hear that? Don't peel at it. Do you have scissors? Yeah. Y'all, Clarus is so upset. When is Attack on Titan Season 2 reaction? Mosh, that'll be on Thursday. On Tuesday, it's going to be the... we're doing a reaction to Attack on Titan in 9 minutes on Tuesday. And then episode 201 and 202 will both be on Thursday in one video. Yeah, I would peel at it. Yeah, Deadsy, but they said like really don't peel at it. So, don't you hate when you mess up a super chat? No, because I'm perfect. I don't mess things up. I'm always correct. We don't have time. I need to keep going. So yeah, she goes to meet Bris. And she learns that Lan is actually the Lost King of Malkier, which she was like, oh, fuck, that's new information. That's fucking crazy. And she is like, oh, I don't feel very good. She runs into Moraine. Moraine has made it there, but she's not with Laurel. And she's like, wait. And Moraine's like, oh, no, Laurel left me to go do something random. And Moraine is like, I don't fucking trust that at all. So Moraine, fuck. They can't, these names are too similar. There's the S names and the M names, guys. M names are the new S names. So Moraine goes to Lan and is like, yo, can you have Bukama follow Moraine, but not fucking Rhine? Because Moraine is putting it together. The wheels are turning. Moraine is like, look, I know that Rhine met with an Aes Sedai. It's probably Marianne here. And so I need you to have Bukama follow Marianne, and then have Bukama tell a woman named Suki to tell me what Marianne does.
No flaws in this plan at all.
No, it just gets like 5 people killed. No problem. No big deal. And so Lan is like, sure.
Sure.
Okay, fine.
You know what? Fine.
Because Moraine is like, there was a pledge made and held since the War of the 100 Years that Malkier would ride when the White Tower called. I am Aes Sedai. I call you. I feel like Lan is in danger. If any Aes Sedai can be like, hey, remember Malkier? And Lan's like, fuck, what do you want?
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I know, I cut it off, but like it still looks fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally like flapping around on my chin.
I know, it's pretty big.
I'm surprised you weren't just like cackling.
I've been laughing on the inside.
Great. Love that for me.
And so Lan is like, look, like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Because we called for the aid of the White Tower and they did not come. And Moraine is like, look, this shit's sealed to the tower. I can't say this, but I'm gonna fucking say it because I'm Moraine Damodred and I don't give a fuck.
Here's the thing.
We sent people.
She agrees, and he was like, I want you to answer one single question for me. And she's like, okay, you know what? Fair. That is fair. Because she doesn't agree. She's like, the White Tower had to like hide that it didn't get there in time by saying by not saying that they ever sent anybody. And I was like, that's so fucking messed up. Like
Yeah. Because it is dangerous for the White Tower to be seen as having tried and failed.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to just say they didn't go.
Where was the White Tower when Malkier fell? Yeah.
They were okay. Gondor was fighting in Osgiliath.
Yeah. Gondor had its own shit.
Like, yes, the Westfold was falling, but so was Osgiliath.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
We were fighting our own war. Also, you didn't light the beacons. The whole beacons thing. You could have lit them, but you didn't do it.
Well,
so, like...
we don't know that they didn't light them. I don't know if that's ever said.
You think they were rebuilt that fast? There's like 85... How'd they get all that wood up there? Those beacons were massive.
They've got watchers who, like, I'm sure have extra wood available.
They just have backup beacons?
Probably. Yeah, they've got a woodshed, you know?
I'm just saying, like... Yes, the Steward of Gondor did not come when the Westfold fell, but his son was in fucking Osgiliath fighting the fucking same enemy.
Sorry, y'all. We're very excited. We're doing a Lord of the Rings marathon with our friends on Sunday, and we're really looking forward to it. Surprise!
Where?
Here.
Babe, our house is a disaster right now.
Oh my god. You already... He's pretending.
I'm pretending what?
I feel like we should, like, live tweet through the whole 12 hours.
You can. I'm going to be asleep in my chair. I'm going to be the old man at the party.
You're going to be asleep. Anyways, very excited about Lord of the Rings marathon.
You're not invited. Sorry, we brought it up. Some people in the chat are invited.
Threk, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Thank you. We appreciate that.
God damn it. This has been such a fucking nightmare. So Moraine is like, this is sealed to the tower, but I'll tell you. And she does. And Lan is like, you know what? Fair. Cool. Let's do this. And so they become teammates.
Let's do this. They have like a secret handshake and everything.
And so Moraine goes back to her rooms and Iselle is there. And Iselle is like, yo, I want to go to the White Tower. I don't want to marry Lan, even though he's the hottest person on earth, apparently, and everybody wants to fuck him. But my mom already fucked him.
That.
And she's literally like, I would. But my mom was there first.
Yeah, she's like, it's kind of weird.
Look, Lan is fucking hot as fuck.
Yeah.
But my mom fucked him, and I don't know that I can do that. And I'm like, Iselle, I feel you. I would run away to all-girls school, too.
Yeah, it's weird. It is very, very strange.
And so, so she's like, okay, then go. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Get on a horse and go to the White Tower. Like, fuck
Marina's
off.
like, I don't have time for you.
And so Swan shows up, and Bukama worked quick because Swan's like, yeah, this is what was up.
Yeah.
And Moraine's like, okay, cool.
Yep.
So Swan is like, look, I lied to this guy named Cal. He's a Jedi. He's this hot ginger dude. In the sequel, he's going to have this nice scruff.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. But so Cal and I, in my head, Cal is...
Is Cal Kestis. I love that.
Cal Kestis shows up in the prequel. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, I didn't fuck him. I kissed him. I might fuck him. He's hot.
I might.
But I told him that I spilled wine on you and that you fired me so that I can sneak into the grieving woman's apartment so that I can interrogate her.
Don't worry. It's not his bed.
Cool?
Yet.
Cool.
I know. It's like, wow.
And
getting
so
spicy.
We cut to chapter 26. When to surrender. Lan... making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and he's homebound. And he's hiding from Moraine and Edain and Iselle. He's just trying to sneak around. And then he's successful. He hides behind a statue because that's the best place to hide. And then he goes up to the stairs, and then suddenly he's falling.
So and like, boop.
Reading this, I was like, Lan doesn't fall.
Lan is very clumsy. Yeah.
Lan, he's got good feet.
He's got good
especially
feet.
When they're, at the end of a workout, they're a little sweaty and they got a little bit of a musk. And so he's flying on the stairs and he realizes, oh, someone tried to kill me with the one power. I'm going to go talk to Moraine because it was probably her because I just saw Moraine. And then Moraine is like, no, it was definitely Moraine. We have to go. Lan also saw Iselle with Bris or some shit. I don't know. But so Moraine is like, look, we need to go stop them. Where would Bris be? And he's like, well, the balcony.
Where's a private place that they wouldn't be disturbed?
And James Ross, I very much don't have a thing for feet. I just think foot fetishes are funny, so I make jokes about them. But this is not a bit. 1,000%. I do not have a foot fetish. I know that sounds like the lady doth protesteth too much, but my wife is right here, and she can confirm. That is not my thing at all. I have things. I am into weird shit. Feet, not one of them.
Yeah, can confirm. Definitely not. Definitely not into feet. But
I'll do anything once, but not feet.
So Lan goes to Moraine, right? Because Lan falls down the stairs and
that is what I just said,
nearly dies. Then goes to Bukama, who is
shit! He goes to Bukama first. I forgot about Bukama.
Yes.
Fuck! No, we can't skip over Bukama. So no, he gets pushed down the stairs.
Yeah.
He nearly dies, but doesn't because he's lucky. Taviran? Taviran? Question mark? Taviran? Question mark.
He makes his body soft when he falls down the stairs. That's what he does.
Oh my god, a woman used the one power on me and I lost my erection. And then he's like literally getting up at the bottom of the stairs and someone is like, is that Lan? Lan, you need to come right now. And he's like, I just got soft because of the one power. I don't think I can come yet. And he's like, no, it's Bukama. He's like, oh, come with you. Yeah. And so...
Right. Of course.
And so they run. And yeah, Bukama's dead.
Dead. Stabbed.
In the back.
So sad.
Through the heart.
Honestly, it is actually very sad.
It is sad. No, I'm not joking. I was like, dude, what?
Brutal.
No, it sucks.
Yeah.
And so Lan goes to Moraine because he's like, what did Moraine get me into?
Yeah.
No, this legitimately, like, I was surprised given how little I cared about Bukama at the end of the first half of the book. Because all of the Lan stuff in the first half of the book was just kind of like, whatever. There was no plot to it. It was just like...
It was just
so
a
that
reminder,
when they showed up in the second half, it wasn't weird.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I was surprisingly caught up in him being dead. Yeah,
it was beautally written, and
it was well done.
I was like, guys, F's in chat for
F's in chat for Bukama.
Mike, thank you for the super chat. Finally catching live. Been such a trip experiencing the series again through your eyes. Thank you. Nerdy yelling like the little kid on Christmas morning when the Ashman shows up was such a highlight.
I got excited.
Top 5 moments, honestly.
Top 5 moments.
Top 5.
It's not quite as good as she spun around before he came on her from behind.
Not
but
quite.
it's like it's number 2.
Yeah, for sure.
So then Lan goes to Moraine.
Yes. It's like, the fuck
because Lan is like, what, you got Bukama killed? And she's like, yeah. But she's more like, people are going to die.
Oops, I fucked up. Yeah.
More people are going to die if we don't go now. And so they run up to the balcony where like this is so epic. The way he wrote the magic fight here, like there's so much to this final battle. Lan versus Rhine and Moraine versus Marianne. I kept thinking Swan was going to show up and turn the tide.
Me too.
Because Swan kind of just disappears at the end of the book.
She does, yeah.
But like this whole fight sequence was so fucking good. This was one of the top fights in the series for me.
I agree.
The stakes are super high.
They lost, like they both lost and found a way to still win.
Yeah.
Which was great. Mm-hmm. Lan is like, no, he was the better swordsman.
Yeah.
But he gave up before I was dead, right? You only give up when you're dead. And he thought that his arm being injured was like an issue. Yeah. And then Marianne puts a fucking shield on Moraine, no problem, while she's still holding people with the one power. Yeah. And Moraine stabs her in the back. Does it the only thing that she can do, right? Surrender when you're dead. And so...
and Marianne is so cocky about her power in the one power that she forgets that her physical body exists too.
Yeah, she forgets. She doesn't have a warder there.
It's so... This is one of the top fights in all of the series.
I agree.
It's so well written.
Yes.
Like, it really is so fucking well written.
Yeah. Loved it. Like, very, very, very well done.
Yeah. And Lan, and like the moment when like Moraine turns to Lan to hoping he can help her and realizes that he isn't winning. Yeah. Like all of it. It's just so fucking good. Yeah. That I was like, because it reminds me of the early fights in the series, right? Yeah. Like Nynaeve against Mogideon 1.0. Rand and Balsamon fighting in the sky. Those the epic fights that are still personal. Yeah. I feel like that part of what the slog feels like to me is that none of the fights are personal. Everything is on either a massive scale or it's with an enemy who we don't really no one has like a personal connection to. And it's missing that like face to face. Rand versus Turok is one for sure. Yeah. It's the slog is missing the the greater stakes and the smaller stakes simultaneously.
Yeah, in different ways.
And so the all of the stakes of those books just feel a little bit less like they matter to the characters on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And this reminded me so much of why I loved Robert Jordan's writing from those early books. Like, New Spring really did invigorate my love of the franchise.
Yeah.
In that I was like, oh, this is, when he writes like this, it really is some of the best shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Or like Perrin leading the fight in Emmons Field, right? And like the personal stakes of every beat of that fight to Perrin.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, oh shit, this is what I love so much about the first books about the Wheel of Time brought back to me.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful we read it, because I think this book is great, guys. I feel like the first half is a little bit unnecessary to the plot. It's fun for like the main series to like know that stuff.
Interesting stuff in there for sure, but like it really picks up.
But like, God, the second half of this book is it's great. Mm-hmm. It's really fucking great, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like yeah. Yeah. And what this moment like means to our characters moving forward, I think is really it's very poignant.
Yeah.
Topher, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, Marianne, it just like takes the little boy, just like chucks him off the roof. Takes his dad, chucks him off the roof, and then
takes his L and just chucks off the roof.
Yeah.
And Moraine, even though she's not shielded in that moment with Estelle, she is so spent. Yeah. And so like Marianne did so much damage to her that even though she won that fight, she still doesn't have the ability. She's not back to being able to capture the source yet, so she can't use the source to fucking save Estelle. So even though she's won the fight, she suffers one final defeat even after. Like that is it's good writing. It really is good writing, and it was so captivating.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well done. It's very well done.
Marianne is the defenestrator. I love that word.
I don't know what that, I've never heard that before.
To defenestrate someone means to throw them out a window. It's such a specific, it's like the most specific thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have a word for literally throwing someone out a window?
I don't know.
It's so weird, right?
That is very weird. Okay, interesting.
Philip says, how are you feeling going back into Knife of Dreams after this versus how you felt after Crossroads of Twilight? I am hopeful that Knife of Dreams has this feeling of setups and payoffs and really having these like emotional conclusions to stories and having epic fights that also matter to our characters on a personal level. I hope that this feeling continues.
Yeah, it was invigorating.
This is how I felt at the end of Lord of Chaos, right? Yeah. When I was like, oh, fuck, I love this.
Yeah.
Or the end of Shadow Rising, or you know, the end of Fires of Heaven. There's things in Fires of Heaven I don't like as much.
Sure, yeah.
But the end of Fires of Heaven is fucking rad, right? Like there's so much in this series that is this good. It just hasn't felt that way in a while, and the slog it's tough to get through, honestly, for me. There's a lot in there that I'm like, we slogged, but like this feeling, the feeling of the final chapter of this book is worth that to me.
Yeah.
And this, I feel the same way about Attack on Titan. If you're following that, like, I'm like, look, like, I didn't like an arc of Attack on Titan, but like, if we get there in the end, it will have been worth it.
Yeah.
And some people are like, no, you have to enjoy it now. And I'm like, well, I don't. Like, sorry, but I don't. But I'm not gonna like, people are like, well, if you don't like it right now, you should quit. And I'm like, that's not how I roll, dude. Like,
yeah.
I will get through the tough parts of a series to get to the stuff that I like. I'll complain about it. Sure. I'll make content complaining, and people will be like, I don't like when you complain. And I'm like, I don't like when I complain either. I want this to be great. I want it to feel like the end of New Spring feels, because when art and when content and art feel like this, it feels like I'm like tapping into humanity on another level that I can't do on my own. That I need someone to hold my hand and show me humanity in a way that I can't experience by myself.
Yeah.
And I hope to tell stories like that in my life, right? I hope that I've done that with my art and with my performance. But I can't do that for myself. Somebody else has to show me humanity in ways that I cannot show myself. And I hope to do that for other people. And the end of New Spring does that.
Yeah.
In a way that I was like, oh, fuck, I was so in.
Yeah.
When fucking Bris gets dropped off the balcony, you're like, fuck, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, what do we, like he's just like, dead.
Yeah.
And she's so evil. And like I have little nitpicks throughout. Yeah, you can go through this book and be like, yeah, but you didn't like this. You didn't like this. Beep 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 beep. Yes, I am like that. That is how my brain works. I'm sorry. I can like a whole while still being like, I didn't like page 26. I love the book. I just didn't like page 26. I think that this could have been stronger. I think this could have been stronger. This didn't make sense to me because of whatever. But I still like the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. I feel like I'm just going on. But this is what I've been waiting for through 3 books that I just didn't like very much.
Yeah. James Smith, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's get through the end of the book so we can, just because we are coming up on 3 hours. Moraine heals Lan. She talks to Swan. She's like, look, you need to go back to the White Tower and become the Emerald Seat because that's what the main series says happens.
Yes. They do some puzzling out.
Yeah.
Moraine is like, look, I have all the pieces and I can't figure out exactly how it all fits together. And Swan is good at puzzles. So she's like, oh, the Black Ajah don't know when the dragon was reborn. They are going around slaughtering
anyone who seems lucky.
Anyone who seems too lucky for coincidence, which is fucking crazy. But they're doing what they got to do.
But they also have the defense of the red. That is the Red Ajah's purpose. And Galena, who's the head of the Red Ajah, the Red Ajah is the perfect curtain for the Black Ajah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. My only qualm with the end of this book, with little tiny thing, I feel like Swan doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then she kind of figures out the puzzle at the end. I wish that Swan had helped teach Moraine a little bit to see, to puzzle it out for herself.
Yes. Yeah.
If I could make a tiny little minor change to this, it would be that they kind of figured it out together and Swan helped her get there. And it allowed Moraine to grow and become more of the, I don't know, puzzle master, but the person that we know her in Eye of the World, where she seems like she is incredibly competent and smart and really good at figuring those things out.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a minor little thing that in my head I was like, I think it would have been a nice moment of character growth and a lesson from Swan and having that all kind of tie in together. It's very 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 minimal. I don't think it really changes the end of the story much, but I do wish that
it would have justified. I feel like Swan being there is just, it's kind of weird that she's there and she's like, I might fuck Cal. I didn't.
Yeah.
I figured out a puzzle, and you're like, you weren't there. Or just have her be there for the fight, or
had just imparted a little bit of a lesson. And Swan is trying to help Moraine with how she sees the world, so that when they separate, they go their separate ways. They don't see each other forever. That Moraine can take that into part of herself, right?
Kyle Franson says, who plays young Moraine in Swan? I would cast Catherine Newton as young Moraine. I think that she has the same big blue eyes that Moraine has. From she's in the new Ant-Man movie. I would cast her as young Moraine, and I would cast Zendaya as young Swan.
Oh, really? I was gonna say Bailey Bass.
Ooh, Bailey Bass would be good too.
Bailey Bass. Yeah.
Just to play the young versions of those women, I would cast Catherine Newton and Bailey Bass or Zendaya.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot.
So then Moraine is like, look, you're gonna go be Emerald Seat, and I'm gonna travel the world with Lan, because he doesn't know yet, but he's already left, so she goes after him.
She follows him.
And she's like, look, you're not a dark friend. And the first day I met you, I made a promise to myself that if you weren't a dark friend, I was going to make you my warder. So do you want to be my warder? And he's like, no. And she's like, okay, but you want to go die in the Blight because you want to fight the Shadow.
Yeah.
And then she actually tells him everything and is very honest with him.
Yeah, she lays it all out.
And through the power of communication, guys, it's the fucking Wheel of Time.
The power of communication.
It's the fucking Wheel of Time. And through the power of communication, one character changes another character's mind about a situation to get him on board with what she wants to do. Yes. What the fuck is happening? Did Robert Jordan go to therapy? These characters talk to one another and are honest. And because of that, good things happen. It is almost like characters should fucking communicate.
What?
Because it works out.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. I was reading this and I was like, wait, she's being honest.
Yeah.
Am I reading another book series?
No.
I was like, is the epilogue of this book like an insert for like another like series that someone paid to be at the end of the book to like sell their book series? What is happening?
No, it fucking works. Speakeasy, thank you for the super chat.
Speakeasy V, when Lan agrees to be a warder, it seems like Moraine gives him something to live for, adds so much depth for her death and Lan's depression. Well, especially because in her death, she once more gives Lan something to live for by sending him off to Morel, but she knows he's headed towards Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Communication is...
It's so good to see.
The fact that the prequel ends with communication, and I sit there reading the prequel knowing this never happens again. 20 years later, this part of the world, completely gone.
Yeah.
I think it's because the Dark One is touching through, and he's like, he can't control the weather anymore, so he's like, I'm just going to stop anyone from being honest with each other ever again.
Yeah, 100%.
But it was nice.
It was so, it was a perfect way to end the book.
And it's the only warder bonding that we've seen that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No, Elaine, Avienda, and Min. That one I'm comfortable with. Yeah. No, so there's 2 warder bondings I'm comfortable with.
That's fair. James Smith, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Yeah. Communication, what is that?
The Dark One does corrupt the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Clarus, do you want to do your high-low?
Do I?
Guys, so the way that we do high-low here, it's something that I did growing up with my family at the dinner table, where we would celebrate each other's highs and commiserate over each other's lows, brought us together as a family. And so we do it here with Clarus doing her high, me doing my low, then Clarus doing her low, then me doing my high. We're going to do it for the second half, and then if it's different for the whole book, do that. Because we're not going to do a full book recap. Do both. But we do it that way so that we complement sandwich the books, even when we don't like them. Like Crossroads of Twilight. But we like this book a lot. It's really good. Don't skip New Spring. It's actually like one of the better books in the series.
Yeah. We just talked about it, but my high is that final moment of communication and like the reward for it. Like it really was so refreshing to see Moraine be like, this is all the information that I have.
Yeah.
And I trust you with it. And like oh God, it's like, thank God. I never thought I'd live long enough to see the day.
Orchid, I like the people in chat who are saying Alan because it's making me think of Jurassic Park 3 when the Velociraptor dream sequence happens. He's like, Alan.
All I can think of is the like fucking animals, the Discovery Channel thing where it's like, Alan. No, that's Steve. Steve.
James Smith, thank you for joining the Narcs. Communication, what is that? Sadly, this all happened in the past and then it all stops. Wheel of Time, here we go.
You missed that. Okay.
I totally missed it.
Yeah. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
I was reading Alan and I was chuckling to myself about Velociraptor dreams.
Loadbolt, thank you so much for the super chat.
Have you seen Tor is rumored to be asking around if anyone is interested in writing more Wheel of Time books? I will do it.
More Wheel of Time books.
Tor, hear me out. Hear me out, Tor. Let me write a trilogy of stories about the men who fought in the Trolloc Wars. Let me do it. I will turn in some cool shit. There will be no spankings. There might be one spank. I will have one honorary spanking. Women will not tuck their arms under their breasts and sigh very often. I will kind of write more consent into the world than this series. So if you want someone who wants to, if you're looking for that true unfiltered Wheel of Time experience, I'm not the guy.
You're not the guy.
But if you want a war series about the Trolloc, I want to write about the Trolloc Wars so fucking bad.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if Robert Jordan left notes,
which is why our D&D campaign is going to take place during the Trolloc Wars, but
yeah. Here's the thing: if Robert Jordan left notes for those other prequel books, I think that could be really cool.
Honestly, I don't care about that.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything interesting in what happens between this and the main series for Moraine and Lan.
No, I don't think the prequels are not the same story. One was about Tam.
He goes home and raises a kid, though. You know what I mean? I don't need to see that. I know what happens to Tam. If it's Tam before Rand is born, super interesting.
It's probably the Aiel War.
But Tam moving home to the Emmons Field with his new wife and baby and raising them and making I don't really care about that. No. I would rather them go hundreds of years in the past, thousands of years in the past, or 1,000 years in the future, right?
Write about Archer Pendrag.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Nerdy's women won't sigh breastily. No,
exactly.
they won't. Pooh Daddy says, no, leave Willow time alone, please. I know, but if someone's going to do it, I would rather make money.
Wow.
It was supposed to end with Tam finding Rand. Okay, that could be really fun. If it's Tam's perspective of the Aiel War, that I would be very interesting.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Because I thought we were going to get more of the Aiel War from Lan's perspective, but we absolutely did not.
Fabu Moose wants to be a character in my Wheel of Time.
Sounds good.
Raising Rand sounds like a wholesome story.
Anyway, sorry, I did my high. You gotta do your low.
The Cadsuane chapter. I fuck it. I just don't like. I don't like the way he writes that character. I just find her boring. And like the more he writes her the same way, the faster I get bored with her scenes. When she shows up and I'm like, oh, maybe Cadsuane will do something different this time, and she doesn't. Mm-hmm. My brain turns off a little bit faster every time.
All right, that's fair.
And I'm hopeful that in the final books we will get to something with Cadsuane that changes my mind. I want something in these books to change my mind about this character.
Yeah.
I'm not like she's dead to me forever. I mean, look at how I felt about like Nynaeve, and now I love Nynaeve. I've really loved Nynaeve in the last couple books, right?
Yeah.
Whereas there was a period of time where I was like, fuck, I cannot stand this character. I really want something to change my mind about Cadsuane, but right now, like anytime she shows up, I kind of turn my brain off a little bit.
How I Met Your Aiel Mother. That is very funny. James Smith, thank you for the super chat. Let's fucking go.
Cadsuane is not the best. Cadsuane sucks.
Guys, we're still looking for people to help us design more merch. So if you know artists, please point them in our direction.
Colonel Sanders says this will be so cool as long as nothing in them touch the RJBS series. I like that sounds like Robert Jordan's bullshit series, but I know what you mean. Twilight Wars, Pendrag, Age of Legends, Seafolk, something like that.
Yeah.
I would read a story about Lucifer and Telamon, right? Like that would be interesting.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Nerd Table. Thank you for that. My low is just Swan kind of like conveniently showing up. I do wish she had a more active role in the end of this book, but it's not her story, and I understand that. So it's my low, but it's not. I'm not really upset about it.
Yeah, I do wish that she was like used more in the end.
Yeah.
I already said what my high is. It's Lan with the kid. I thought that was one of those rare moments where Robert Jordan shows other sides of characters. He doesn't do it with all of his characters very often, and he certainly has not done it with Lan up until this point.
Yeah.
Even in marrying Nynaeve, he's still like the same stoic, And so to have this moment where he's like, "Don't you remember being 8?" And then he thinks to himself, "I didn't get to be 8 like that." And there's like regret over the life that he's lived because there was no choice in his life.
Yeah.
Which I think comes out in the way that he is so difficult with Adderall because we experience this regret in his head, and I think it's just so well done.
Yeah.
And Lan, he was my favorite character in the show. He's inconsistently been one of my favorite characters in the books, just depending on how much he's in them. He disappears for a long time. But this book reminded me why that character resonates with me so strongly.
Yeah.
And I love Lan Mandragoran. I think that he's wonderful, and he's my favorite character. Like I love him so much, and this book really reinforced why that is.
Yeah. While
also fleshing him out in ways that made him even more interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 1,000%. It was an incredible moment and well written, and it hurt a little bit.
One of the things about this book that made me love Nynaeve more, weirdly, since she's not in it, is the painting her forehead.
Chachin.
Yeah. I think that reading this book and seeing how much the traditions of Malkiri mean to him, to Lan, knowing that Nynaeve hears about traditions that mean a lot to Lan, and she just immediately implements them into her life.
Yeah.
As a way of honoring him, makes me love her more.
Yeah.
I think that when you're a partner of someone and you find something important to them, and without them asking you, you just make that a part of your life.
Yeah.
That makes Nynaeve. It shows a level of empathy on her part that I was not aware she had.
Yeah.
And it makes me love her more. Honestly, that it's something to take away from this book that makes that character who isn't in this book, isn't mentioned, isn't like prequel teased in a silly way.
No.
She just, there's touches in this book that make her a stronger character. And I love that he managed to pull that off.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. The only thing that's like a little bit weird, which like I don't really want to think about, is that Nynaeve is like at least 20 years younger than Lan.
That's weird now, but isn't weird in the past.
No, I know.
Like when my great-grandfather...
I'm just not going to think about it.
When my great-grandfather moved to Canada, he married a woman like 32 years younger than him.
Yep.
They had 9 kids.
Yep.
And she never remarried after he died because she just loved him. And they had a great life, and he was very good to her. And like... She lived her life with her family, you know, being happy, but she was like, I don't need anyone else. I had my one love.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, she's like 26. She's old enough. It's weird when they're like 18. Like Leonardo DiCaprio dating an 18-year-old is fucking strange to me.
Yeah, Nynaeve is 25.
But when you're like 25, 26, it's like, well,
you do what you want, you know.
Y'all, that's the end of the show. I'm gonna check Discord really quick.
Oh, we are going to give you the...
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what to read for next week.
The breakdown for
Mod Talk.
Knife of Daggers.
So for next week, it's only... I think chapter 00 is the prologue. So...
Here, you read that. I'm going to go grab the book.
I can just pull it up on my iPad.
The book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you bought it already.
I own all... I bought all of them as a bundle.
That's fair enough.
Because it was cheaper.
We got some Knife of Daggers.
Read that out to them.
Okie dokie. So here is the split. Next Friday. Oh, that's a short one. Next Friday, we are doing prologue to chapter 5. Okay?
Well, don't say it's a short one. We do not know how long the prologue is.
That's true. I don't know how many pages it's going to be.
The prologue could be 160 pages.
But this is a 5 split, okay? Our mods
we're doing it in 5 weeks.
Our mods decided 5 split was going to be plenty. So it is in the chat. Thank you for that, Dakuna. Prologue to chapter 5 for next week. And then 6 to 12, 13 to 20, 21 to 27, and then 28 to the end. So we are reacting to chapter 20 for the patrons.
Okay.
For our patrons and YouTube members, there will
chapter
be
20.
Reaction to chapter 20. So that's in our 3rd week.
0 to 5 is about 20% of the books. That makes sense.
Of course it is. God damn it. All right, that makes sense. Apparently there's a lot to talk about in this book. So, yes.
All right. And then this is the prologue. Embers falling on dry grass. The sun...
Is that a sword form?
Probably. The sun, climbing toward mid-morning, stretched Galad's shadow and those of his 3 armored companions ahead of them as they trotted their mounts down the road that ran straight through the forest, dense with oak and leatherleaf, pine and sour gum, most showing the red of spring growth. He tried to keep his mind empty, still, but small things kept intruding. The day was silent, save for the thud of their horses' hooves. No bird sang on a branch, no squirrel chittered. Too quiet for the time of year, as though the forest held its breath. This had been a major trade route once, long before Amadicia and Terrebonne came into being, and bits of ancient paving stones sometimes studded the hard-packed surface of yellowish clay. A single farm cart far ahead, behind a plodding ox, was the only sign of human life now besides themselves. Trade had shifted far north. Farms and villages in the region dwindled, and the fabled lost mines of Aelgar remained lost in the tangled mountain ranges that began only a few miles to the south. Dark clouds, massing in that direction, promised rain by afternoon if their slow advance continued. A red-winged hawk quartered back and forth along the border of the trees, hunting in the fringes, as he himself was hunting, but at the heart, not on the fringes.
Okay, so we get Galad?
In Amadicia. Where the fuck is he?
This chat wants you to keep going. I don't know how much we can read before it's like copyright struck.
Galad isn't really near anybody right now.
In Amadicia?
He's over here?
Yeah.
But like, everyone's over here.
I don't know.
He's in Sanchin territory, though. That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That is where the hotness is.
All right. Well, that's the beginning of the prologue. I'm excited to read it.
They want you to keep going.
I know they do.
Sorry, y'all. It's
Oh, guys, chapter 20 is called The Golden Crane? I know what that means now.
I know what that means.
Do you think that's the chapter Moraine comes back?
back quite yet.
Mike, thank you for that super chat. Before we go, just want to drop some appreciation for you guys. No, we appreciate you guys.
You guys.
I love what you both love and dislike about the series. I appreciate how much you've given for this book club, Teshar Book Club. Guys, we haven't given anything. This has been like the fucking best part of our year. I know we didn't like the last couple of books, and that's been a little bit tough for everybody involved, including us. But New Spring brought me back. I'm on the Wheel of Time train now. I'm riding. I'm a little worried about Tuon, but like we'll get past it.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
Albino says, can you read the epigraph before the prologue? Sure, why not? Before we head out. It's 2:30.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, we started a little bit late and we've gone a little bit long, but no one's upset about that, right?
The sweetness of victory and the bitterness of defeat are alike a knife of dreams. From Frog and Steel by Matic Comadrin. Cool.
Sounds too much like Matrim Coffin.
Also, I thought my brain was like Frog and Toad, but it's Fog and Steel. It's not even Frog, it's Fog. I made it Frog because I was thinking of Frog and Toad.
Frog and Toad. Wait, go back. The sweetness of victory and the bitterness of defeat. Okay, sure.
Sure. I don't know what that means, but it's very poetic.
You have a new spring in your step.
I do have a new spring in my step, but it's time for us to say, if you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're on iTunes, give this 5 stars and leave a message. We'll read it.
Yeah.
Nobody's done that in a while, so put something ridiculous for me to say on the podcast. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
And I'm at Claris Polaris.
If you don't like Smut Corner, get the fuck out. Lan fucks.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
I do not want to know how that sounds on the mic.
Lan is just fucking like pounding puss left, right, and center.
Going to Pound Town.
Oh my god. And Moraine is a virgin. Moraine needs to get fucked.
Moraine needs to... Well, she's not a virgin.
That's true.
Definitely fucked Swan.
Swan has stuck fingers and probably toys inside of her.
Yeah, there's some terrain grills for that.
Do you think that Swan... I like to think that Moraine and Swan fuck one last time before she goes back. No, she doesn't have time.
No.
There's no time for sex because
I know.
Lan already left.
I know. It's
That is
sad.
So sad.
It is tragic.
They definitely fucked that night in the hotel, though.
Yeah, when they shared the bed. Yeah, 100%.
Hotel rooms make me horny.
All right.
The problem is we're usually sharing with Holly and like...
Right. You're right. That's fair.
She calls us mom and dad enough now that I'm like, I can't fuck in front of her.
Which is hilarious because she's older than both of us. Guys, we're mom and dad.
Yeah, there are a number of people who call us mom and dad now, and I think that's very funny.
I guess we just give
because
off
we don't want to have kids.
Couple energy, maybe.
And we're always together.
Yeah.
Pied Piper guy, Holly Wolf.
Yeah.
She
calls us mom and dad.
She calls us mom and dad. And on our Attack on Titan videos when I don't like it, she's like, Mom and Dad are fighting.
Yeah. No, Swan and Moraine, they fucking go at it. Lan is an absolute monster in the bedroom.
Do you think like Adderall like chokes Lan with his hair while they're having sex? She takes his thing and is like,
Oh, the
that'd be kind of kinky. Or maybe she does. No. She's in doggy. He's behind her, and he uses his braid as like a fucking like.
I don't like the
leverage.
Hair thing.
I know that you don't like it, but I feel like.
Here's the thing: she has long hair.
I'm just saying.
You don't need the extra.
It's pretty kinky.
Sure.
It's pretty kinky. To use the like power she has over him to choke her while they're having sex, that's pretty kinky. That's some shit I could get into.
Yeah.
I feel bad that Bukama didn't get laid by that innkeeper before he died.
I know! He got fucking shafted, and the wrong kind of shafted.
That's the problem.
He did not get shafted. Because she was about to teach him a lesson that night, and he missed out on it, which is truly tragic.
I don't think she was about to teach him a lesson. I think that she has taught him that lesson, and he is old hat at that lesson by now. She's very.
It's like, I know where I'm
knows.
Supposed to be.
They've slept together enough that she knows exactly how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what positions each other likes. They're both gonna have some orgasms, and then they're gonna sleep cuddled up in each other's arms.
I hope that Lan is a good wingman for Moraine. Because Moraine is horny. She deserves a little loving. But, like, it's hard to find good people out there. Like, Rin was a fucking dark friend. You know? Like, that's tough. It's a tough world out there. Do you think Moraine has ever had sex with a dude?
Yes.
In that 20 years?
Yes.
You think she does? Okay.
Yeah, she's too comfortable flirting with Tom not to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. I was just, like, wondering.
I would not be surprised if her and Tom Maryland fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? She just grabs those mustaches.
Maybe she comes back and they settle down and they like have like a Deastamar like line.
Oh, you think Tom and Moraine end up together?
Sure. That's my bold prediction, y'all. Moraine comes back and her and Tom have a good couple years before Tom probably dies. Or she makes Tom her new warder so he lives longer.
To fix his knee.
To fix his knee!
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.